Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the British Para-Swimming International Meet 2018 right here in beautiful Sheffield. My name is John Mason. I'm going to be the host for the entire weekend, and what a weekend it has already started to be. Over the next 4 days of competition, or over these 4 days of competition, the swimmers are going to be battling it out in this pool for a place on top of that podium. Some of the biggest names in para-swimming here for your viewing pleasure. So wherever you're watching from, it's an absolute pleasure to have you. Finals tonight will be, of course, streamed on the BBC Sport website. If you've got some friends and family at home that maybe want to check it out, it's bbc.co.uk/sport, or of course the British Swimming website and YouTube page, which you can find at britishswimming.org. Now, yesterday, day 1, a great way to start our weekend. Some incredible action happening in this swimming pool. Last night's finals saw 2 world records broken. Alice Tai and Maisie Summers-Newton not only taking home those gold medals, but of course those world records as well, which is pretty exciting. But if you're maybe watching at home or in here and you missed the action yesterday, don't worry, because we put together a little highlights package for you. So let's check it out. There you have it, just a taster of things that are set to happen over this weekend, which is very exciting for me, and I'm sure for all of you at home as well. Now I'm being joined by someone very, very special here. He's our resident para-swimming expert. You heard his voice commentating yesterday at home and, of course, in the building. It's Paul Noble. Welcome, Paul.
Hi, John.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Look, yesterday, day 1, incredible way to start the weekend.
Yeah, it was really good. You mentioned the world records by Alice Tai and Maisie Summers-Newton. Alice Tai has been on fire since the Commonwealth Games, continued that run of good form. And Maisie Summers-Newton, well, we thought it might come, but we weren't prepared for just the extent of that world record. Smashing 1 second, a whole second off the record that has stood for a couple of years now. So a real great talent, Maisie Summers-Newton.
And a great way for us to start this weekend as well. Not just those 2 ladies, but there was plenty of other action happening, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the World Series event. It's the 5th of 6 World Series events that we'll see around the world this year. South Americans on great form last night. Daniel Diaz, the winner of the World Series last year, he continued his good run, gold medal last night. Nelson Crispin of Colombia as well did very well in the breaststroke. And the man building up to Tokyo, Takayuki Suzuki, the Japanese swimmer, he won the breaststroke as well. Great time for him, so it's looking good for the Japanese swimmers.
Well, that was yesterday, but of course we're moving into a new day now. For those at home or here who maybe didn't catch up yesterday, talk us through a little bit about the format. What are they going to see in the pool?
Well, we have the World Series events. It's the 5th of 6 World Series events across the world. Those heats will be first up, and then we'll have the national swimmers as well. So the GB swimmers, the national classifications will be different from the World Para Series swimmers. So we'll have a set of Para Series heats, and then a seat of national heats in each event.
So essentially 2 competitions happening in the pool throughout this entire weekend, but both equally as important are qualifications for the Europeans. I know you were chatting about that yesterday.
Yeah, we've got about a dozen swimmers that we think have made the consideration time for the GB team. The maximum team size is only 35, so we're about a third of the way there already, and we've only had 1 day of competition, so a great day for the GB swimmers yesterday, and hopefully more to come today. We've got a number of events to look forward to. The very short and sharp 50 freestyles that will be very quick towards the beginning of the program, and then the individual medleys, which are always very, very exciting when we get further in.
Oh, fantastic. I know I'm looking forward to it. Now, just very quickly, a couple of quick names. Who should we be keeping our eyes out for in the pool this morning at these heats?
Well, Daniel Diaz, the winner of the World Series, a gold medalist last night, he's back in the pool again. Alberto Albazar, the winner of the World Series for the lower classes, watch out for him. First appearance for the man from Chile. We've got world record holder Aurélie Rivard as well in the sprint events from Canada. Lots to look forward to. Maisie Summers-Newton back in again. Watch out for her.
It's jam-packed. Lots of the superstars of the sport, so do not go anywhere. Of course, we would love to hear from you as well, so join the conversation online, whether you're at home or here in the venue. The hashtag is hashtag BPSIM18. That's hashtag BPSIM18. So take those photos, get those selfies up, get those tweets out, and join the conversation online. Now, another man that's up there in the commentator's desk, joining Paul throughout the weekend, it's Dave Rogers. Dave, how are you feeling this morning?
I am very well, John. Thank you very much. Looking forward to another superb morning of world-class swimming here at Ponds Forge, and also looking forward to Paul Noble getting back up here and joining me in the commentary position ahead of this morning's session as well. However, we are under 5 minutes away from swimming here. We kick off with the 50 meters freestyle. So now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to please welcome the officials. Your referees for this morning's session, Sue Barker and Dave Metcalf. The starters, Liz Fitzsimmons and Rob Ellison. And the World Paraswimming Technical Delegate, Tony Ward. Officials, you may now be seated. We are around about a minute away from the action here. It's going to be a fast morning. We kick off with women's 50-meter freestyle world para swimming heats. We, of course, move on to the men's competition straight after. And we've got some individual medleys as well. So some fast swimming, some exciting swimming. And, of course, places up for grabs in the medal races, the finals later on today. It was a jam, action-packed day yesterday. Of course, gold medals, world records too, that John and Paul spoke about earlier. And there are a few interesting swimmers, a few, well, quite simply, Paul, as you join me on the left-hand side in the expert seat. So much to look forward to in this morning's session ahead of this women's freestyle heats and beyond.
That's true, Dave. Let me get my breath back. They've been down on that poolside there.
I know, I just want to hear from you, Paul.
No, great stuff to look forward to today. Should be very fast. Start with the 50 freestyles. We have, well, world record holders taking the start in this 50 freestyle for women a little bit later on. We have got Paralympic champions, world champions, and we'll start off actually with a Paralympic champion in this very first heat in the lower numerical classification. So, you know, all the way through, and as we saw, it is multi-classification. It's all to do with the points total. So swimmer who touches the wall first not necessarily is going to have the highest points total. So that's what makes it interesting. Danger from all over the pool. You've got to watch every line.
The first event of the day is the women's 50-meter freestyle. We have 8 heats to look forward to in the international classification. So please welcome the athletes for heat number 1. Away we go in heat number 1 then. In lane 3, representing Singapore, Pin Shu Yip from Germany. In 4, Gina Boicher. In lane 5, from Brazil, Dinia Garcia. And in lane 6, from Spain, Laura Castillo Hernandez.
You can start there from the German swimmer in the S4 class, one of the highest of the classifications in this particular heat. Went from the dive. You see a range of different starts there, especially in the lower classification. Some swimmers starting from the water, some swimmers starting from the block, some swimmers starting from the side, beside the block. They have to get permission to do these different starts from the referees and the officials. But Gina Boicher is going to be coming in there in 49.21. So decent swim there from the German, just half a second outside her entry time. And the experienced Brazilian, Dinia Garcia, 4 times a Paralympian. In the S3 class, she comes home in 56.76, but possibly the highest points total is going to come from the swimmer just about to finish here. Pin Shu Yip from Singapore, Paralympic champion in backstroke. And as you can see, she is doing backstroke. Oh, not this time for the Singapore swimmer. She's not gained enough points for the win in this heat. Not above the points totals of Gina Boicher and Dinia Garcia. So Pin Shu Yip from Singapore, S2 is the lowest numerical classification. The final swimmer to finish now, Laura Castillo Hernandez from Spain. And the first time we've seen her here in Sheffield. Saw her swim yesterday. And she's picking up the pace here just in the final stages here. Saved that little bit of energy for a final spurt to the wall here. And she's going to be just over the 2 minutes. Somewhere around about, well, there we go, 208.12. In fact, that's changed now, 205, the scoreboard correcting itself.
So provisional scores, actually confirmed scores. Gina Boicher, the top scorer from Germany. The S4 classification, 518 points. And that will be the benchmark score going into heat number 2. So Boicher first, Garcia second, Yip third, Hernandez fourth in heat number 1. Please welcome the athletes for heat number 2. In lane 0, representing Brazil, Susana Ribeiro. From Germany in 2, Yasmin Beutler. From Great Britain in 2, Lavana Hansen. From Japan in 3, Mayuma Narita. In 4, Joana Silva from Brazil. In 5, Sakura Koike from Japan. In 6, from Great Britain, Rebecca Franks. In 7, from Canada, Crystal Shaw. Dos Santos from Brazil goes in 8. And in lane 9, Peggy Sontag of Germany.
Joanna Maria Silva leading them through, as you might have expected. The S5 World Championship silver medalist heading Japanese swimmer Kiyoki in lane number 5, but it is Joanna Maria Silva getting that one. Good points total as well. As you would expect, of course, World Championship silver medalist, so right up there in terms of world rankings. And also a very good swim down there in lane number 8, the Brazilian, Patricia Pereira dos Santos. That's an excellent swim from her, 42.48 from the Brazilian. That's a high points total as well.
Well, into heat 2, confirmed results. Dos Santos 805 points and Silva 780. Also Ribeiro's 530. That's the 3rd highest points total we've had. Boycha and Coca both on 518, so that's the top 5 so far. That was heat 2. Please welcome the athletes for heat 3. Heat number 3 then, 805 points, that benchmark score from Dos Santos. Tully Kearney going in lane 9 of this one. A couple of S8s will go quickly as well. Danielle Dores in lane 5, but at the moment in lane 2, it's Hope Gordon, the quickest into the final 15 meters.
Well, it's actually Utsugi from Japan who's actually leading them there. Down there, and then lane number 4, Shelby Newkirk going well for Canada, but it was Itsugi, the S9 swimmer from Japan, getting in there in front of the field. Tully Kearney, a good swim as well in the lane number 9, in the outside lane, right at the top there. And a good swim from her. And Maisie Summers-Newton back in the water again after that world record-breaking performance yesterday. And she is a good point score there, 749. But there's Tully Kearney. A good swim from Tully Kearney again from her, and again it's another British record for Tully Kearney in the S5 class. Well done, Tully Kearney from Great Britain. She is absolutely on fire. The first couple of days competition here in Sheffield. Again, the points totals around about the mid-700 range. Could be that for these swimmers to try and make it to the international finals this evening. That could be the target.
This is heat number 4 of 8, and some entry times in those middle lanes, all around the 32.2, 32.3 sections. So we're expecting this to be tight on the finish line, but some different classifications, S9s, S10s, and S11. So it will make a huge, huge difference in terms of points. But Isabella Blanchard in lane 5, going very well, coming towards the finish.
Well, like she's an arm disability. I wonder if she can spot that finish on her good arm. Yeah, pretty good there from Isabella Blanchard. 31.00. She'll be pleased with that one. 756 points. Gives herself a chance of making that final this evening, I would say. But a very good swim from the German swimmer there, Denise Graal, our world and Paralympic medalist. And right up there in the points rankings. And Ellie Robinson, back in the water. Again, Ellie Robinson, 825 points so far on the provisional results. That's a good swim from the GB swimmer there. Ellie Robinson, 35.16.
Well, Denise Graal's 8.58's provisional at the moment, but if it is confirmed, it will be the new highest score. Previous to this heat, it was 805 points, Dos Santos of Brazil. So as it stands, both Robinson and Graal put themselves to the top of the table in terms of guaranteeing qualification.
It was a good swim at the front there from Blanchard.
Confirmed results then. That good swim from Blanchard is enough for third place, 756 points. But Graal takes the win, and that is the new benchmark score, 858 points. Robinson second, 825. That was heat 4. It's now time for heat 5.
In the mix at the end there, it was very close on the touch, but it does look like the Frenchwoman has taken it in terms of points. 31.15 for Supio of France. There's the Argentinian Annaluz Pelletero, 31.03. She was first to the wall at the end. Not the highest points total though, but pretty close to the highest. Maybe third place as we sort out those points totals. Claire Supio, she swam really well, the French woman. First time we've seen her here in Sheffield. As I said, former Olympic swimmer, swam for the French team in the Olympic Games in 1988. She's an experienced campaigner, has a condition, which now means she swims in para-swimming. And that was a good swim from her. She's been hitting the high points totals, Dave, in the last couple of days.
Certainly has, and that time quicker than her entry time as well of 31.30. That 31.15, provisionally at least, the highest points total we've had in the 5 heats so far. Remember, 3 heats still scheduled for this opening event of the day, the women's 50-meter freestyle. 858 points from Denise Graal, the highest confirmed score. Ellie Robinson behind her on 825. And then Dos Santos on 805 points. Still waiting on confirmation of Supio's 869. 3 stacked heats to come though, so there's no off races really, whether you're in the first, second, third, fourth, whatever heat. You need to get that high points total in or you're not going to be in a final.
Well, that's right, yeah. We saw that last night as well. Even with the finals, you really don't know where the medals are going to come from. We had 3 finals last night, and at least one of the events, we had medalists from each one of those 3 finals. Could come from absolutely anywhere. It looks like if this result is confirmed, Claire Supio should be safely into one of those finals this evening.
And there is confirmation then. Supio, fantastic swim from the French athlete, 31.15, 869 points. And she's currently in the lead in the race to the finals later on today. The athletes are now on the blocks, so let's welcome Heat 6. Heat 6 of 8 in the water then. Schnitger of Germany, the fastest on paper, 27.35 the entry time for the S12. She's being pushed at the moment by lane 1, the German Kravzov, going very, very well in the first half of the race.
Yeah, the two in the same classification, Kravzov and Schnittger. And it's a real fight to the finish between the two Germans here. Maybe Schnittger, the world champion, in first, and she is 28.50, but 5/100ths of a second separating the two German swimmers. D'Aruscio from Brazil, the S8 World Championship medalist in the outside lane. She's got a big points total as well, so good swimming there. And Michelle Conkley, the Paralympic medalist from the USA, also in the 800-point range. But it was close between the two Germans there, both in the same class, but the bragging rights for the time being, anyway, go to Naomi Schnittger.
That's a good time from Kravzov, though. Her entry time was 30.19, so she's taken a second and a half out of that. And picking up 836 points. Conkley, 835 as well. But D'Aruscio, 879 points. She goes to the top of the tree. And just looking at these scores, this final is going to be set up beautifully for later on this evening. It's time now to welcome to the starting blocks the athletes for Heat 7. Well, everyone in this heat well capable of swimming under 30 seconds, and Sophie Pascoe might be looking at that 27-second marker. She's from New Zealand, going in lane 4. And lane 4 and 5 neck and neck at the moment. Tosh Pulatova of Uzbekistan pushing her all the way.
Well, the big names just keep coming and coming in these heats there. Sophie Pascoe and Tosh Pulatova in together there. Different classes, of course, but 28.23, not a bad swim at all from Sophie Pascoe. Another swimmer fresh from the Commonwealth Games, won 2 gold medals in those Commonwealth Games and still looks in good form a month later. Sophie Pascoe. Tosh Pulatova, the Paralympic bronze medalist, in second position, just behind Sophie Pascoe, and it looks like, I think she's in second position in terms of points as well.
And Pascoe, the first athlete to break 900 points as well, 911. And with the finals being seeded on times, we can perhaps look forward to seeing them next to each other in the lanes in the finals later for another titanic encounter. But result confirmed, Pascoe, top of the tree, 911 points.
Yeah, very good swim from Markkinen of Finland as well, so she might be in the mix as well. Great swim from her.
It's now time for the final heat in the opening event of the morning, Heat 8. Just seen that great swim from Pascoe in the S10 classification, but Aurélie Rivard of Canada goes in lane 5. And in lane 4, from Great Britain, Hannah Russell, the S12, she'll have her eye on a good time as well here in the final heat, heat number 8.
Yeah, again, it's a visually impaired swimmer against an S10 swimmer, Hannah Russell, and Aurélie Rivard, world record holder, Aurélie Rivard from Canada. And they are going to come in together, maybe Russell with just a touch there, possibly. Well, time not registering for Russell. I think we have it now. Well, 100th of a second separating the two at the front of the field, but it looks like Rivard taking that one in 28.33902, just behind Sophie Pascoe. Looks like another cracking contest is going to be in prospect tonight. That'll get her into the finals, and these heats stacked to the 800 points mark, and Zara Malouli, 29.28 for Zara Malouli. The S10 swimmer from Great Britain has gone under her own British record. So well done, Zara Malouli. Another British record for Zara to add to the record she set yesterday in the 100.
Well, that a confirmed result now. And we have confirmation of the 50-meter freestyle heats. Pascoe, 911 points. Rivard, 902. And just 0.10 of a second between them. What a battle that could be in the final later. Plenty of good times, plenty of good scores there. Emma Robinson there, 825 points. Enough for 14th place. But that battle at the top, well, that is set up perfectly.
It is going to be a cracker, these two. Great friends, great rivals. They competed all over the world against each other in the past, well, 5 or 6 years, certainly, probably even longer than that. Sophie Pascoe said first time she came to Sheffield for this championship was 12 years ago when she was only 13. So she has lived and breathed Sheffield. She loves coming here, always swims well, and it's good to see her back after not being here for a few years, but training in Nottingham now, Sophie Pascoe. So she's pretty much of a local, almost just up the road. She has to come to Sheffield here, so it's good to see her swimming well. That is the last heat of the Para World Series. Move on to the next event, Dave.
Yes, we do. 5 heats scheduled in the National Women's 50-meter freestyle competition. This is Heat 1. Three swimmers and 3 different classifications in heat number 1. Going in lane 3 from Kimberley is Sophie Woodward. In the middle in lane 4 from Guernsey is Sarah Whitchurch, and Ellie Spokes of Northampton goes in lane number 5 in heat 1 of the 50 freestyle.
Well, the S5 swimmer in lane number 4, the centre of the 3 swimmers there, Sarah Whitchurch from Guernsey. We saw her yesterday, chasing an entry time of 52.21. Ellie Spokes entry time 53.66. So a good target for her. Ellie Spokes, of course, from Northampton. Home the likes of Ellie Robinson, some of Newton, and Sarah Whitchurch in 50.72. Excellent swim from Sarah Whitchurch. That is an improvement on her entry time. And Ellie Spokes also just about on her entry time as well. Yes, slightly faster, I think. 53.27 for Ellie Spokes, and Sophie Woodward. A lot of encouragement for her, the S3 swimmer. And 1:13.53 for Sophie Woodward.
And those results confirmed in heat 1. Whitchurch from Guernsey, 354 points is enough to take the victory. 237 for Spokes, 189 for Sophie Woodward. So Whitchurch with 354 sets the benchmark score in heat number 1.
So Sophie Woodward there, just not using her arms at all, just using that body movement, that butterfly kick on her back, and she'll be back for the butterfly a little bit later on in the next couple of days, so we'll watch out for her. Good butterfly swimmer.
The athletes are now on the blocks, ready for heat 2. Away we go in heat number 2 from Warrington, Lauren Sanders in 1. In 2, Elizabeth Foster of Haventon, Waterlooville. From RTW Monson, it's Fern Snedden in 3. In 4, Isla Howe of Nova Centurion. City of Cambridge represented by Nikki Ling Howe in 5. In 6, Megan Short from Uni of Stirling. From Broxburn, it's Laura Pilkington in 7. And Charlotte McGuinness of Harrogate goes in lane 8.
Fern Snedden, we saw her yesterday in lane number 3, the young 12-year-old. Taking it out, taking it to the older swimmers in this one, and she's doing exactly the same again. Fern Snedden from, well, Tunbridge Wells. Monson is going to be first to the wall, 41.19. Well, I'm watching another star in the making here. That's 2 cracking swims we've seen from her in the last couple of days, over the 500-point range for Fern Snedden, the 12-year-old. Well, she's 12 years old this year, Dave. We only got the year of birth. She might just be 11.
Well, she's taking chunks out of her entry times, and look at that, 513 points. The first swimmer over 500 in this national freestyle competition. That's a confirmed result as well. Good swim from Isla Howe of Nova Centurion for 431 in 2nd place as well in heat number 2.
Yeah, let's do the outstanding points totals there of the swimmers in that heat.
Now please welcome the swimmers in heat 3. Heat number 3 of the 50-meter freestyle then. These athletes chasing the 513 points from Fern Snedden, the benchmark score set in heat number 2. And Bamber and Briscoe both with similar entry times in the middle lanes, but it's Bamber who's got the edge at the moment.
Yeah, nice spearhead here at the front of the field, lane 4, fastest entry time. Looks like she's going to bring them home. Eleanor Bamber, the S10 swimmer. She's going to have the highest points total though. Bamber takes it in 35.88 in the 400 range. Good time, good points total for Hayley Milne as well from Grantham. 38.82 for her, 541 points. So the only one in the 500 point range. Looks like it's Hayley Milne from Grantham. Of course, in the 5 heats, you have to get in the top 10 points totals to make that final. Just one final, not like the Para Series, World Series, when you have 3 finals potentially, just one final, so you've got to be in the top 10 points earners. But Hayley Milne give herself a great chance to be right in that top 10.
Well, that 541 is the top score. Just the 2 athletes who've broken that 500-point barrier. And with 2 heats remaining, they do give themselves an excellent chance of qualification. The athletes are now ready on the start blocks for heat 4. In lane 1 and 2 here, we have Charlotte Hyde and Leah O'Connell. They're both S7s and Camden Swiss teammates. They'll be pulling each other along, looking for good scores to pull themselves into the final. The fastest swimmer in entry times is going in lane 4, Drew Stables from Coppola, 33.05, and she's in the yellow cap, living up to the expectation at the moment and leading, coming into the final 15.
Looks like she's going to take this one, Drew Stables. Watch out for the points of Georgia Hull, the lowest classification in this one. She goes in lane number 8, But Drew Stables in there in the 500-point range, 34.12. Well done to Drew Stables. And the highest points earner, well, another swimmer in the 500-point range will be Leo Connell from Camden, Swiss, winning that contest between the two Camden Swiss swimmers. And also in the 500-point range, Georgia Howell from Littlehampton. But Leo Connell, she had a busy night last night with finals almost back-to-back. Doesn't seem to have done her much harm. Good swim this morning.
Certainly is. 38.86, 540 points. Putting her in excellent contention with the final. Stables and Howell also joining the 500 club. Means we've got 5 athletes there, with 10 athletes remaining in the competition. This is heat number 5. The 5th and final heat of this National 50 freestyle for women then. And the fastest entry time in the competition is Harriet Dickinson in lane 4 from Gloucester, 32.99. In that yellow cap, she's had a good start, but so has Sarah LeConte in lane 5 as well.
Yeah, both those two swimmers had a good day yesterday. Harriet Dickinson especially, we see her at the head of the field in both the races yesterday for the national titles, and it looks like she is going to take this one again. Harriet Dickinson continuing her good run of form, 33.65, another 500-point swim from her, as was Olivia Pickering and Ella Cooper-Holmes. 546 point for the Cockermouth swimmers, so we might have 2 Cockermouth swimmers in the final in that top 10 by the looks of things, but a good swim from Ella Cooper-Holmes. The S7 swimmer, 38.71, so she will be pleased with that one. Knocking off times over the first couple of days, the Cockermouth swimmer.
Well, those are the confirmed results now. Cooper-Holmes, 5.46, Dickinson, 5.38, Pickering, 5.24. It is so close at the top. We'll get a full rundown of the results here. But this, look how well this is set up. We've got 5.46, 5.38, 5.24. We've got 5.41 from a previous heat as well. We've got Leo Connell, 540. If they all swim sort of similarly or look to improve in the final, then this could be absolutely incredible.
It could be very, very close in terms of points. Yeah, it could, you just can't choose that one, really. We had some good swims. We had a great swim from the 12-year-old as well, Fern Snedden. I wonder if she's managed to sneak into that final. It'd be great to see her in there as well, but we'll have to wait and see for confirmation of that top 10, of course. But it is going to be absolutely blanket finish in terms of points. And the swimmers in this national event are swimming so well. We're seeing them improve every time they hit the water, so we could even go higher than the mid 500 points. Maybe someone hitting a 600 in the final. That'd be good.
That is the end of the women's 50-meter freestyle heats this morning. It is time to move on to the men's 50-meter freestyle World Series heats. Please welcome the athletes for Heat 1. In lane 3, representing Ukraine, Serhiy Palamarchuk. In 4, representing Israel, Ishtak Mamistvalov. In 5, representing USA, Curtis Lovejoy. And in 6, representing Thailand, Shanwit Mongolchai.
Well, the Thai swimmer has gone out fast. An S14 swimmer. Probably not the times of the guys in this heat as well. All S2s with the exception of Shanwit Mongolchai from Thailand, and he's gone under the 30-second mark, 29.37 for the Thai swimmer, leaving 3 S2s. have their own private battle here in this first heat. They're all experienced campaigners. Curtis Lovejoy, we saw him win a medal last night in the breaststroke. We have Istak Mamesvalov, loves this pool here in Sheffield. He set world records here before the Israeli, and also Serhii Palamarchuk from Ukraine. Palamarchuk, the European record holder, set that in Rio on his way to winning a medal there. Palamarchuk and Mamesvalov very close in terms of finish, just 5/100 separating them, with the Israeli coming out on top. Wow, what a close race that was.
It certainly was, wow. And just 1 point between them two. So Mongolchai, 584 points. He'll set that benchmark score. Mamesvalov and Palamarchuk, 430 and 429 respectively, and Curtis Lovejoy, 288 points in heat number 1 of the men's 50-meter freestyle.
3 S2 swimmers with their own private contest there. And heat number 2 is almost ready to go. Swimmers just exiting the water from that first heat, and then the second heat will get underway very shortly.
Heat number 2 is underway, and in lane 0, we've got the S2 from Chile, Alberto Albaza. Mohammed Sheikh from India goes in 1, Satendra Singh of India in 2, Nakamura Japan 3, Schoenmaker of Netherlands 4, Duric Slovenia 5, Topkin Estonia 6, Rodriguez Brazil in 7, and Pino of Portugal in lane 8.
Well, we saw the likes of Darko Duric yesterday swim, had a good head-to-head against David Smetinin of France. Looks like he's out on his own here, just swimming with the use of that one arm there, but very powerful stroke from the S4 swimmer from Slovenia. Going to bring him home first. He gets in 41.93, 718 points. I wonder if that'll be enough for him to make it into a final. And have a look at lane 0 here, just finishing. The winner of the World Series last year for the lower numerical classifications was Alberto Albazar, as well as the Open World Series competition. There is a competition for juniors and for lower classifications, and the swimmer from Chile came out on top on that occasion. I'd love to repeat that achievement in 2018, and he finishes in 56.48, 721 points for the Chilean, and that'll be good World Para Series points for him.
Certainly will. Those are the new target scores then. Abaza 721, and Darko Duric, the Slovenian S4, 718. That is heat 2 over and done with. Now please welcome the swimmers in heat 3. the previous heat, Paul, you mentioned the battle between Duric and Smetanine. The Frenchman goes in lane 9 here with an entry time of 41.23 in the middle lanes. We've got Zulkifly of Malaysia, the S5 with a 34.78 entry time, and Goodman of Great Britain goes in lane 5 as well. But how about this in lane 3? Oyama from Japan leading him out into the final 15 meters.
Well, very good swim there from lane number 3. Liana is going to be in first, 33.20, followed home by Ben Sivan from Hungary. In terms of points though, the Malaysian Zulkifly looks like he's on the top at the moment, 7:11, but Smetanine, well, finishing in the outside lane, right at the top there. David Smetanine takes that one in 40.94, 771 points. Looks like that is going to be the top points earners in that heat. So Smetanine looks like he might be scheduled to resume his rivalry with Duric in the final if they both make it, but Duric a little bit faster in the heats this morning so far. The result is official. Smetanine takes that one for France. Zulkifly from Malaysia in second. And Andrew Mullen making his first appearance here in Sheffield this weekend. He's in third.
Well, 3 heats down, and the mid to high 700s are the targets thus far. Please welcome the athletes for heat 4. For 771, the target score then from Smetanine. Rajas Cabrera, the S6 of Spain, goes in lane 9 with a good entry time. He could set a high score, but again, we're expecting the quickest swims from those middle lanes 4 and 5. They're going quite well in lane 2 at the moment is Semi, the Hungarian. And coming through in lane 4, Carlo of Argentina is going to lead them home.
Yeah, watch out for Daniel Diaz though, in terms of points. Carlo is going to take this one, the S8 swimmer, 537 points. But wow, look at Daniel Diaz there. Well, he never disappoints. The Brazilian, 32.53 for Daniel Diaz. He is the world record holder, and that stands at 31.94. So Daniel Diaz, well, yeah, great swim from him. Big smile on the face of the Brazilian champion. He enjoyed himself last night, swimming great time in the 100. And it's a great time in the 50 as well, 32.83. Excellent time there from the Brazilian. And continuing that great run of form, Dave. I mean, he's been absolutely on fire. Went to Italy last week for the World Series event. Come here to Sheffield, and he's continuing to post the good times. And he won the World Series last year, absolutely determined to win it again this year.
And he looks pretty happy with that one as well. 947 points. Of course, we're still waiting for the full result to be ratified. That would put him so far ahead of that 771 posted by David Smetanine. But of course, these scores don't count. It's not cumulative. As soon as we get to the final, it's back to 0, and the highest score in the finals wins. Three medals on offer, of course. If it's a Briton who finishes outside the top 3, there's a prize for the best Briton as well, but that man will take some beating. What a swim from him. Always seems to deliver at world level.
The thing about the heats, though, they do count for World Series points. So if you go faster in the heats than you do in the finals, your faster time counts.
Well, Carlo of Argentina was disqualified, but Daniel Diaz confirmed 947 points. That is the new benchmark score. And goodness me, that will take some beating. But still, plenty of swimming to come here. 4 heats down, 4 remaining. This is Heat 5. Well, the racing continues after that wonderful performance from Diaz. His compatriot from Brazil, Italo Pereira, goes in lane 9 here, but it's been a lightning start in the middle lanes from Ogiwara of Japan and Kalma of Estonia.
Nelson Crispin on good form as well. The Colombian just one lane up from the two yellow lanes there. He's right in the mix here. Watch out for the points total for him. Kalma in first in 28.58. That's a good swim from the Estonian, half a second faster than his entry time. Ogiwara follows him home, 671 points. And Tobias Pollard, good swim from him. German swimmer, you can see him there. World Championship medalist last year, 29.69 for him in the S7 class. But Nelson Crispin, well, he's the lower classification in that heat, and it's the lower classification numbers on top in terms of points.
Certainly is. He's buzzing around that 30-second mark as well, 839. He's the only one at the moment in that 800 points category, but still quite some way behind Diaz's 947. Now let's welcome the swimmers in Heat 6. Into the final 3 heats, then some quick swimming here. And in 0, 1 and 2, the S10s, Caps, Granger and Carter. This will be an interesting battle, but absolutely flying out is Bastak in the Netherlands in lane 4.
Bastak in the S10 swimmer as well. Latin Maki, very much a 50 freestyle specialist in the S9 class. The Finn in lane 5 follows the S10 swimmer home, but is a higher points total for the Finn, Latin Maki, 851 points. You might have expected, won medals in all the major championships. Leo Latin Maki, recent years World Championship, European Championships. He's taken the medals and he's on top of the points totals at the moment. 851 points, 26.52. He will be pleased with that swim. That should see him into one of the finals. Of course, number of finals that we are going to see for the World Series events tonight, you only have to be in the top 30 because they've all got the same status. It's not an A final, it's not a B final, it's not a C final. 3 finals, all with the same status.
Latin Maki 851 takes him to second as it stands. It's now time to move on to Heat 7. Stephen Clegg and James Hollis, the two Brits, the S12 and the S10 in 4 and 5 here. They'll look to be the pace setters. In lane 4, Clegg swimming butterfly, doing incredibly well.
Incredible swim here from Stephen Clegg. He is going to be first to the wall in 25.51. That's not bad at all for Stephen Clegg there. Well, excellent swim from him. He is targeting the butterfly this season. Obviously a little bit of a warm-up for him for the 100 butterfly tomorrow. 732 points for the Brit. Not quite the top point scorers though. Looks like that is Carlos Serrano Zarate. Here he is, the Colombian. He's on a good breaststroke yesterday. 804 points for him in the 800 range for the S7 swimmer. He's the world champion, so expect him to be competitive when it comes to that final.
804, he'll certainly be in a final later on today. And we have 1 heat remaining in this competition. It's Heat 8. The final heat then, two Irish swimmers in 0 and 1, McClements and O'Riordan, 947 still. That benchmark score, can any of these get even close to that from the Brazilian Diaz?
Well, the one most likely might be his country-mate, Felipe Rodriguez. And look at Rodriguez go. My goodness, the world champion in 50 freestyle is in 23.92, 908 points again. Well, again, Rodriguez very determined to be right up there in terms of the world rankings here. And he gets in 23.92. The next points earners are probably down in the 700 range, and that's Ryan Crouch from Great Britain in that time of 27.24, 785 points. It might earn Ryan Crouch another swim, but Felipe Rodriguez, well, he's on fire, isn't he? Another great swim following on from the 100 freestyle he got last night. 52.00 last night, 23.92 this morning.
It's incredibly consistent swimming, and it's great scoring too. Two swimmers in the 900 plus club, and they are both Brazilian. Diaz and Rodriguez lead the way going into the finals. Latin Maki in third as it stands, 851. Smetanine there, 771. Good enough for 11th place for him. That'll get him a place in the final.
Looks like Stephen Clegg will get another swim there. James Hollis also looking like he is in the top 30 points. Well, looks like it might go down to the Argentinian in 30th place, but you never know, there might be withdrawals. You might get another chance if you've just missed out. So keep an eye on the start list for tonight, see if there are any withdrawals. So we'll know after 12 o'clock who's going to be in that final. But if you're in the top 30, you've got a chance of being there.
The fourth event of the morning is the national men's 50-meter freestyle. Please welcome the athletes in Heat 1. Four scheduled heats in this competition. Harvey Phillips in lane 0, Sebastian Williams in 1, Jacob Chambers 2, Zach Washington Young 3, Adam Donachie 4, in lane 5, Callum Robertson, William Whitehead in 6, Robin Surgeon is 7, and Bruce D in 8.
Oh, what a contest this one. 5 swimmers right across the pool here. It looks like maybe the 2 in 3 and 4 just stretching away as they get into the final 10 meters. Zach Washington Young and Adam Donachie from East Kilbride. Looks like Donachie is going to take it at the wall. It is Adam Donachie, 35.33 for him. Half a second improvement there. You'd be pleased with that, East Kilbride man. And Zach Washington Young in 46.06, City of Liverpool swimmer. And the final swimmers still to register their time. Lane 0 looks like Harvey Phillips, who has the lowest classification number, and he finishes just under the 1 minute, 59.13. But good contest at the front between these two, Zach Washington Young and Adam Donachie.
Just keeping their eye on that board for the ratification of the scores, and there is the confirmation. Washington Young, City of Liverpool, sets the benchmark, 497 points after that 36.06. Donachie of East Kilbride takes second. Jacob Chambers takes third with 317.
Yeah, same drill as we had in the women's national event. Top 10 from all the heats will take place in that national, so it'll be even harder to make that final. Top 30 for the World Series, top 10 for the national.
Certainly is competitive, but now the athletes are ready for Heat 2. Really do have some fast swimmers in the pool in heat number 2. John Law, the S13, 27.39 is his entry time in lane 4. He's already got about a length of the lead as well.
He went under the 1 minute yesterday for the 100 freestyle, so the S13 swimmer, University of Stirling, we're hoping for a good 50 as well. And he'll spearhead here. All information, 27.42 for John Law. Good swim from him at the front. Leo McCree won the 100 title. I wonder if he can double up in the 50 metres title. He's right down there at the bottom. And another good time for Leo McCree of Bournemouth College. It'll be 4.06 for him, and I think he's going to be just about the top points earner there. Maybe not, maybe John Law just ahead.
John Law confirmed 606, the first to break that 600 barrier. It's tight there between second and third. Look, McCree and Hughes, 590 and 587 respectively. Charlie Coulomb and Dominic Redpath also getting up over 500 as well. So it's certainly going to be hotly contested to book a place in the final 10 of the 39 entrants will make their way into that medal race later today. But now we're ready with heat number 3. Away we go in heat number 3 then, and lane 3 is empty. So again, the 2 S10s in the middle expected to be the quickest, and that's how it's looking. Callum Pearson of Hastings leading them out into the final 20 metres.
Yeah, Callum Pearson there. Straight arm freestyle, very fast turnover there as he comes into the finish. He swam well yesterday, 28.01 for the Hastings man there. 565 points, should just keep him ahead of Finlay Middleton from Mount Kelly. Not by much though, but what about the swim there from William Perry? Good swim from him from the Mount Kelly man, just ahead of his teammate Finlay Middleton. 33.71 for him and 689 points. Good swim there.
Certainly is. Well, it takes him to the top of the table. It was John Law before that, 606, but 609 for Will Perry. That is confirmed, and only 3 points between them as well. Once again, this national freestyle competition set up to be incredibly close at the conclusion. This is now the 4th and final heat of the men's national 50 freestyle. As it stands, William Perry, 609 points is the lead score. Matthew Redfern comes out of the water late, but again, he'll be looking to go quickest here. And that's an S13. He needs to set a quick time to put himself in contention for a very competitive final.
He does, just about edging it at the moment there. At the front, Adam Wyborn next to him, Billingham swimmer. Matthew Redfern just in there, 27.43. Should be enough in the 600-point range. 605 points for him. He's followed on by Adam Wyborn. He could be the top 2 scorers from all the swimmers in this one. So good swim at the front there. He did what he had to do. Matthew Redfern from Worcester.
605 will be enough for Redfern. 3 swimmers who've gone over 600 points. We've got Redfern, we've got Perry, and we've got John Lauren at 605, 606 and 609. Goodness me, that could be tight. It's going to be all eyes on the scoreboard in the final later on. We'll get confirmation of all of the scores. Remember the top 10 going through. Looks like Dominic Redpath, 534 points, 10th place. Will be enough to get him in there, but all the finalists up over that 530 point mark. That's a good standard at national level.
Yeah, very good. It's the William Perry and Leo McCree, the 2 S6s in there. next to the two S13s, John Law and Matthew Redfern. Well, could be a straight fight between these two, but you never know. It's really tight when you get further down that field. So maybe someone can just make a move. And Owen C just misses out there. 521 points, just by 13 points, missing that final, as is Matthew Harding. They'll be reserves in case anyone pulls out of that final. But set for a close contest in that one. Always in the 50 freestyles, we get close races, so expect another one tonight.
Well, that is the men's and women's 50 freestyle heats over and done with. It's now time to move on to event 5 of the morning, the women's multi-classification 200 individual medley. Please welcome the athletes for Heat 1. Seven swimmers going in this opening heat, 7 scheduled heats of the women's 200 individual medley. In lane 1, representing Japan, Ayumi Narita. In 2, representing Great Britain, is Levana Hansen. Jasmine Beutler of Germany goes in 3. The Canadian in lane 4 is Danielle Kieser. Peggy Sontag of Germany in lane 5. Nadia Baez of Argentina in lane 6. From Singapore in lane 7, it's Rui C. Teresa Go. As we reach the opening split, it's Nadia Baez in lane 6. 44.71. Out there in front by some considerable distance.
Yeah, Nadia Baez going very well in the early stages here. Normally see her swimming breaststroke. She had a good breaststroke yesterday. She's won medals in the major championships at that, so when she gets onto this breaststroke leg of the medley, I expect to see her consolidate that lead that she has. She's a swimmer with no vision at all. She swims in the SM11 class, so she will have the tappers at each end of the pool to tell her where the turn is. Just hugging the lane ropes there. And you see right up against that blue lane ropes. Very difficult sometimes when you get caught on the lane ropes to get off that when you are a visually impaired swimmer, but some of the visually impaired swimmers use the lane ropes as a guide. They just flick the lane ropes and they will guide themselves to keep themselves straight. So some of them use it as a guide for that. And there's the tapper. She moves on to the breaststroke.
Well, Baez 147.04 at the halfway point. 156.86 for Sontag, 154.64 for Kieser at the halfway point, 159.24 for Jasmine Beutler of Germany, and Hansen in lane 2 from Great Britain, 156.60 going into the third length.
Yeah, Daniel Kieser came out pretty well there in lane number 4. Nadia Baez, as expected, stretching away there at the front on that breaststroke. The breaststroke specialist, very much so. Lane number 7, you see Teresa Go. Experienced swimmer from Singapore, going through there in 2:28.83. Teresa Go, medalist in the Rio Paralympics. Great start for Singapore, one of their very small but very successful team from Singapore over the last few years. Nadia Baez heading for home, 2:40.14 at that third turn. Daniel Kieser in second.
Yes, 2:55.51 for Kieser. Very impressive for Baez, though. She's in her final third of the final lap and just looked a controlled swim the entire time from her. A few more splits. Peggy Sontag, 3:05.12 in third place. Jasmine Beutler, 3:12.16 going into her final length. And Levana Hansen of Great Britain, 3:18.21 in fifth place as it stands.
Well, it's all getting a little bit strung out. Nadia Baez has finished now, 3:30.15. She takes that one, and that is a good swim from her. She was very, very good on the breaststroke as we expected. Daniel Kieser is going to be second place. The Canadian swimmer is in now in 3:48.99, and that is not the points that you see there on the scoreboard and on your screen, but that's the positions we have. A little bit of a difficulty with the points at the moment, but we'll bring you them hopefully as soon as we can. But good swim from Nadia Baez, followed home by Daniel Kieser there, and Peggy Sontag in third position.
Yeah, we've got Teresa Go coming into her final 25 metres. She was 3:42.57 at that third lap split. There was disqualification in lane 1, so Mayumi Narita of Japan will not finish this opening heat. And Teresa Go of Singapore just coming into the final few metres of heat 1 of this 200 individual medley, finishing in 4:44.80. So the provisional times then, Nadia Baez taking first place, 3:30.15, 3:48.99 for Kieser was the second quickest. Peggy Sontag of Germany, 4 minutes 0.59. In fourth place then was Jasmin Beutler of Germany, 4:03 dead. Levana Hansen, Great Britain, 4:04.41, and then Teresa Go finished sixth, 4:44.80. Those are the provisional times as we await confirmation after heat number 1. Remember, 7 heats to come in this individual medley. And as we get through the times, we've got some really fast swimmers to come to. But that was heat number 1. And now we do have the confirmed times. Nadia Baez quickest, 3:30.15.
Yeah, shame we don't have the points totals there, but they will be calculated, I'm sure. Heat number 2 on its way up.
Got a full contingent then in heat number 2. Starting in lane 0 from Finland, Mari Mäkinen. In 1 is Sakura Koike from Japan. From Norway in 2, Sarah Louise Rung. In 3, from the USA, Amanda Palio. In 4, Victoria Savtsova from Ukraine. From Japan in 5, Chikako Ono. Sophia Herzog of the USA goes in 6. In 7, Tomomi Ishiura of Japan. From Ireland in 8, it's Alba Kelly. From Great Britain in 9, Rebecca Franks, as we come to the first split of heat 2 of the 200 individual medley.
Yeah, Amanda Palio from the USA, taking that one out. We have another visually impaired swimmer there in the SM11 class, Chikako Ono from Japan. Second place at the moment, just in the top of those yellow lanes. Nadia Baez hugging that blue lane rope in the previous heat. Chikako Ono right over on the lane rope, but not quite as close as Nadia Baez was. Japanese swimmer there with the black cap in lane number 5. It is Amanda Palio from the USA, though, leading them out, the SM9 swimmer.
It's Palio who reaches the halfway point first. 1:20.96 through 100 metres. Chikako Ono of Japan, 1:29.25 as she reaches the halfway point in second place. Kelly of Ireland, 1:36.11 in third. And in fourth, just behind her, 1:37.59 for Sophia Herzog, 1:42.16 for Ishiura of Japan. But still going incredibly well in first place. Palio of the USA into the breaststroke leg.
Well, you see just closing up now, Sophia Herzog from the USA, the SM6 swimmer, world champion in 100 breaststroke, and she's coming back right on the shoulder of Chikako Ono, the Japanese swimmer, right next to her. Still going well, the American though, Amanda Palio, but Sophia Herzog is going to make it an American 1-2 as they get to this final turn, because she has overtaken Chikako Ono, the Japanese swimmer. It's going to be a good swim from Sophia Herzog. Had a great tussle with Ellie Simmons from Great Britain yesterday in one of the finals for the 100 breaststroke yesterday, but on her way home, Amanda Palio from USA, followed by her teammate.
Yeah, Palio 226.19 through 3 laps, 232.58 for Herzog, and Chikako Ono turns in third, 235.15. But after conceding a little bit of time on the breaststroke, Palio's pulled away again in the fourth and final lap, and she is going to post the quickest time here in heat number 2.
Yeah, just a youngster, just 17 years of age this year, and Palio is in 308.73. Well done, Amanda Palio. Good improvement there. Some 9 seconds faster than her entry time. And in second place, Chikako Ono recovered after being overtaken by Herzog on the breaststroke. 3:15.32 for Chikako Ono, and that is pretty much bang on her entry time. 6/100ths different, but it is faster. It's always better to be faster than slower.
Certainly is. So Kelly provisionally in fourth, Rung fifth, Koika sixth, Mary Maikanen is there in seventh. Over in lane 9, Rebecca Franks just swimming her final few strokes here in heat number 2. Entry time of 3:38.50. She's going to be outside that. Stops the clock in 3:55.79.
We don't have the points totals again. I would expect the likes of Sophia Herzog to be quite high. The world champion, of course, from Finland, Mari Mäkinen, the SM7 swimmer, may have a high points total as well. Sakura Kaoki from Japan also had a good swim. Well, as I say that, we do have a disqualification appearing on the scoreboard, and that is the Japanese swimmer Sakura Kaoki from Japan at the moment. Looks like she's subject of a disqualification. The results not official yet, but hopefully they will be very shortly. The next heat is ready to go, just waiting for confirmation of this result. Of course, swimmers in the SM11 class wearing blacked out goggles. They have to get these goggles checked before the result can be made official, just to make sure that the goggles are completely blacked out. So nothing can be made official until that is done. Watching the officials on the other side of the pool do those checks. I think we saw a thumbs up there, Dave. We're about to find out.
Well, as we wait for the times to be confirmed, we are ready to go with heat number 3 in the women's 200 individual medley. That's another all-star cast in heat number 3, as Ellie Simmons of Great Britain goes in 0. Verena Schott of Germany in 1. 2 SM6 swimmers next to each other there. Yang Ting Danielle Moy of Singapore in 2. Then in 3 from Great Britain is Maisie Summers-Newton. Pinto of Portugal in 4. Routliff Canada in 5. 2 Brits in 6 and 7. Grace Harvey and Rebecca Lewis. Nicole Turner of Ireland in 8. And Danielle Doris of Canada in lane 9 in heat number 3. And first to the turn from lane 2 is the Singaporean Yang Ting Danielle Moy, 36.07.
Well, Ellie Simmons, the world record holder in the SM6 class, back in the water again after having over a year out. She set that world record to win gold in the Paralympic Games in Rio. And she's trying to build up for Tokyo 2020. I wonder if what she can do in this 200 meters individual medley. Just been back in the water since the new year, really. So maybe a tough ask for Ellie Simmons here in these heats this morning in Sheffield. We'll watch her progress though. She is definitely a fighter. Also, watch out for Maisie Summers-Newton, who's going extremely well in lane number 3. World record last night. Swimmer bang on form. And also Grace Harvey from Great Britain, who's a very good individual medley swimmer. We'll see how she gets on. Those GB swimmers trying to chase the qualification standard of 3:05.57. That's the A standard for the GB team. We'll watch out for their progress.
In lane 4, Pinto really coming through on this breaststroke leg. She turned in 4th place, 129.31, behind Yanting Daniel Moy, who was in the lead. But look now, in terms of the race itself, she's going to turn for the final leg in 1st place, ahead of lane 5, where we have Tess Routliff. Been an excellent third 50 meters for her. Let's have a look at the time as she turns then. Going into the 4th and final length, it's 2:19.19. Pinto leads ahead of 2:21.17 for Danielle Moy of Singapore. And then in 3rd place, Tess Routliff in lane 5 from Canada, 2:22.24.
Tess Routliff going well. Also, top IM swimmer, the Canadian. Looks maybe like Yanting Daniel Moy, the SM14 swimmer, is going to come away from the field in this one. Was a good breaststroke from Renata Pinto. That's put her in a good position. Routliff should have a higher number of points than her. And look at this swim from Maisie Summers-Newton. Well, this is sensational from her. Another great swim from the youngster. Doing really well. Ellie Simmons has come through in the second half of this race. And Maisie Summers-Newton, 3:05.53. Well, that's inside the qualification standard. And Ellie Simmons, well, she's just outside that, but not too far away at all. So a good swim there from Ellie Simmons in her comeback swim, comeback meet here in Sheffield. So good stuff for the Paralympic champion and world record holder. But looks like first to the wall, Yanting Daniel Moy from Singapore, followed by Renato Pinto and Tess Routliff. I think when we get the points totals, I think we're going to have Maisie Summers-Newton and Ellie Simmons on top there.
We've got a confirmed disqualification for Rebecca Lewis in heat number 3. Just over 3 minutes then is that lead time from Yanting Daniel Moy. Renata Pinto, Portugal, 3:02.71, the second quickest, and Tess Routliff of Canada, 3rd quickest in heat number 3. We're now ready for heat 4. In lane 0, representing France, is Lucia Etienne. Tori Magnusdottir of Iceland goes in 1. In 2, from France, Claire Supio. Katie Crowhurst of Great Britain in lane 3. From Austria, it's Janina Falk in 4. In 5, Mikuni Utsuki of Japan. In lane 6, Jessica Markkanen of Finland. In lane 7, Suki Chung of Hong Kong. From Great Britain in 8, it's Bethan Eckley. And from Czech Republic in lane 9, Adela Mikova.
Janina Falk leads them through there, 35.01. And Suki Chung, SM14 in 2nd position as well. So the two SM14s in 1st and 2nd as they hit the wall in that butterfly. Katie Crowhurst from Great Britain, a visually impaired swimmer in the SM13 class. Has partial vision. She won't like as the SM11 swimmers had. They had tappers. Katie Crowhurst's vision is good enough not to require a tapper. She's partial vision, rather than no vision at all. Doesn't have to wear blacked out goggles, Katie Crowhurst. And she has come through very strongly on that backstroke, almost challenging for the 2nd position.
Janina Falk, the quickest at the halfway point, 1:18.16. Suki Chung, 2nd quickest, 1:20.55. From Katie Crowhurst, 1:21.40. A good few seconds ahead of Mikuni Utsugi of Japan at 1:25.53 at the halfway point. But it's Falk still out in front on this breaststroke leg, but being chased down well in lane 7 by Suki Chung of Hong Kong.
It's all getting very, very stretched out, these heats in the 200 metres individual medley. Sometimes we get very, very close contests here, but big gaps between some of the swimmers. Some of the swimmers have really stepped up here, swimming excellent times, and well, coming through very strongly there in lane number 7, Su Ki Cheong from Hong Kong, to 11.19, 8/100 separating the top two now, as well as a couple of lanes across there. So we're in kind of two private battles there between the SM14 swimmers in the middle and right up there at the top in lane number 7, and also the two swimmers in the centre lanes as well, Katie Crowhurst and Mitzi Usugi as well. But it looks like it is going to be possibly lane number 7 will take this one very close at the end. Su Ki Cheong from Hong Kong will just get that one over the long-time leader, Janina Falk. And as we said before, that is not the points totals, that is the positions of the swimmers there. So Su Ki Cheong in first place, Janina Falk in second, Katie Crowhurst just winning that tussle for third place ahead of Mikuni Utsugi, and in fifth place was Claire Supio. I think Claire Supio, the SM8 swimmer, may have the highest points totals of that batch.
Well, 3:02.26 for Supio out of lane 2, the SM8 swimmer. All of the results we've had have been ranked in time, but they will be amended, and as soon as we get points totals, we will keep you updated. But that is an exceptional time there from Supio, and as soon as we do get the points, I'm sure that'll put her in a great position. Moving into the final, we've got a disqualification. Su Ki Cheong of Hong Kong, the SM14 swimmer, provisionally with the second quickest time, has been disqualified. So Janina Falk is confirmed as the quickest in heat number 4, 2:48.84, the fastest time ahead of Katie Crowhurst, 2:55.03 in heat 4. Now please welcome to the starting blocks the athletes for heat 5. Beatriz Carneiro of Brazil goes in lane 0. Lane 1 is empty. Becca Redfern of Great Britain is in 2. Next to her in 3 is Danielle Hartin. Shokshan Toshpulatova of Uzbekistan in 4. Chantal Zaideveld, Netherlands in 5. In 6, Airi Ike of Japan. From Argentina in 7, Daniela Jimenez. Great Britain represented by Coral Farrell in 8. And in 9, Kira Stevens, Australia.
Well, this one a little bit closer in the early stages there. Yuri Ike from Japan leading them out, 31.69 for the Japanese swimmer. Shoksan Toshpulatova from Uzbekistan, Paralympic medalist. Expect her to be fast, certainly in the final. Kind of burst on the scene. We didn't really see many Uzbekistan swimmers. I saw one or two, but then in 2016 they kind of burst onto the scene. The Open European Championships. Of course, they're an Asian country, able to compete in the Open Europeans, and also competed very well in Rio, winning a number of medals. And Toshpulatova was one of those that picked up medals out there in Brazil. Yuri Ike from Japan still leads them through in a diagonal line as they come off that turn. Chantal Zaideveld, very strong breaststroker, the world record holder in her class, stretching into the lead now ahead of Toshpulatova in third place.
Well, Zaideveld trailed by over 2 seconds at the halfway point. Ike turned in 1:13.53. Zaideveld 1:15.71, but she's made up that 2 seconds and some in this third 50 meters. And as she approaches the final 5 before the turn, she's going to lead going into the final 50. Zaideveld at the turn in 1:59.28, 2:02.53 for Ike. So 6 seconds made up in that breaststroke 50.
A phenomenal breaststroker is Chantal Zaideveld from the Netherlands. She is in the SM10 class. Only one under the 2-minute mark at that three-quarter stage. She should hold on to this one. Kuratova in one line down from her, now chasing Eri from Japan, and also coming through really strongly in lane number 3, Daniel Hartin from Great Britain, with a real spurt at the finish here, and she is bringing herself right into contention for second place here. Daniel Hartin, a great finish. Seideveld wins it though in 2:34.46, and Daniel Hartin in third place, just behind Eri Aiki from Japan. But a great finish from Daniel Hartin, came from way back there to claim third place.
Always interesting watching the tactics of the individual medley. Who goes out slow and finishes strong? That was certainly the case there for Hartin. A fantastic last 50 meters from her. Stops the clock in 2:39.33. But Seideveld 2:34.46. That is confirmed as the fastest time, ahead of EK. Hartin third quickest. Tosh Pulatova of Uzbekistan in fourth. And that concludes Heat 5. Please welcome the swimmers for Heat 6. Beth Johnson goes in lane 0, representing Great Britain in heat number 6. Yu Lam Chan of Hong Kong in 1. Nigora Mitsokidova of Uzbekistan in lane 2. In lane 3, Bianca Papp of Hungary. Jessica Jane Applegate of Great Britain in 4. Lisa Kruger, Netherlands in 5. Ellen Keane goes in lane 6, representing Ireland. Manon Vermeiren of Netherlands in 7. Michaela Jenkins, USA in 8. Megan Richter of Great Britain in lane 9. Leading at the first turn, Jessica Jane Applegate, 29.97 over that opening 50 meters.
Yeah, one of the great stars of British swimming over the last 5 or 6 years. Burst onto the scene in the London Games in 2012, winning gold medal in the 200 freestyle. She's been a fixture in the GB team ever since. World champion, a European champion. Jessica Jane Applegate. It's one of our target events. Very strong in this one. And she goes over there well ahead of the rest of the field. 107.43. We saw Chantal Seideveld in the last heat come back on the breaststroke. Well, her countrymate Lisa Kruger is the Paralympic champion in the 100 breaststroke as well, so I wonder if she can make inroads into the lead of Jessica Jane Applegate. But Jessica Jane looking extremely good and extremely comfortable at the front of that field. Bianca Papp, the young Hungarian who's done so well in recent years, just staying ahead of the Netherlands swimmer as they come into this final turn here. But Jessica Jane Applegate, well, she is being caught, but she is going to retain that lead, and she's a very strong freestyler.
She's the first to the split then, Jessica Jane Applegate, 1:53.43 after 150 meters, 1:56.79 for Bianca Papp, so she did make up a second or so in that breaststroke length. Kruger of Netherlands also under 2 minutes through 150 meters, so good pace here in heat 6. Jessica Jane Applegate has managed to maintain that gap and possibly extend it. She's certainly going to post the fastest time in this 6th heat.
Into the finish now, Jessica Jane Applegate is in 2:27.71. Good time for her. Bianca Papp is in second position, 2:31.92 for Bianca Papp. That should see her into the final. It's an improvement on her entry time as well, so the Hungarian will be very pleased with that one. And Lisa Kruger not far behind as well, 2:34.52 for the Netherlands swimmer. And I think they could be challenging certainly for the top points earners. We'll have a look at Megan Richter coming in now in 2:58. Megan Richter, swimmer who was due to make her GB debut last year in Mexico. GB team didn't attend those championships.
We've got a couple of disqualifications, provisional disqualifications up on the board. Jessica Jane Applegate, one of them. Megan Richter, the other. So that'll be real disappointment for those two. So Bianca Papp provisionally goes to the top of the table in terms of times, 2:31.92, and there it is confirmed. Applegate and Richter of Great Britain both disqualified in heat number 6. So Papp of Hungary and Kruger of Netherlands, first and second respectively, moving into the final heat of the women's 200 individual medley, heat 7. The final heat is underway. Ho Ying Chung of Hong Kong in 0. Marlene Endralat of Germany in 1. Abby Kane, Great Britain in 2. Fortimakan Amilova of Uzbekistan in 3. From Great Britain, Bethany Firth goes in 4. Next to her from Great Britain, Louise Fidesz in 5. Yanina Breuer of Germany in 6. Tony Shaw, Great Britain 7. Kasumi Fukui of Japan in 8. And Liesette Bruinsma of the Netherlands goes in lane 9.
Yeah, Bruinsma, the European record holder, should be very competitive in terms of points there. She is another swimmer in the SM11 class. Bruinsma, she will have the tappers at either end of the pool. You see those orange Netherlands shirts. And will be tapping their swimmer, hopefully getting her onto a good time here. But right at the front of the field, Bethany Firth. Well, excellent swimmer, Bethany Firth, British record holder, set that in Rio. She was Britain's most successful swimmer in the Rio Paralympic Games, 3 gold medals. One of them was here. Amilova in 2nd at the moment, and Power in 3rd.
And Firth, 106.26, has a 6-second advantage over Amilova going into the second 100 meters, but as it stands, Amilova doing very well on this particular breaststroke leg.
Yeah, Amilova, the world record holder in breaststroke, so expect her to close back. She's an SM13 swimmer with a visual impairment. Next to her, 1 lane down, is Abby Kane from Great Britain. Abby Kane, just a youngster trying to look for those qualification standards for the GB team, for the Europeans, but Amilova really caught up to Bethany Firth here on that breaststroke leg. Louise Fidesz also coming back into contention as well in lane number 5, but it's a real contest now at the front with Bethany Firth just holding on to that lead, but Amilova looks like she means to overtake Bethany Firth right at the end here. Bethany Firth having a look at Amilova, but Amilova coming back all the time, and Bethany Firth, I think, may just hold on. It's very close indeed, and she does hold on by 0.16 of a second. Bethany Firth in there in 2:27.12, and that is under the qualification standard for Bethany Firth, if that result is confirmed, of course.
Well, Amilova grew into that race. She was 6 seconds back going into the second 100 meters, and ended up missing out by just 0.16, but Bethany Firth, 2:27.12. Excellent time from her. Amilova just behind with the second quickest time, and Fidesz of Great Britain, another excellent time, 2:31.27. Quick enough for 3rd place.
I'll wait for confirmation of these ones, but good swims there at the front. Bethany Firth inside that European qualification standard, if it's confirmed, of course. And certainly inside the B standard. Tony Shaw, another B standard for the young swimmer from Great Britain in the SM9 class. And a good swim in the outside lane, Lisette Bruinsma from the Netherlands. If that result is confirmed, then that'll be a high points earner as well.
We just received news that there will be a swim-off for places in the men's and women's 50-meter freestyle. So following the next event, we will have a swim-off in the women's competition between Rebecca Redfern of Great Britain and Anaëlle Roulet, and in the men's competition between Matthew Wiley and Jonathan Fox.
Ooh, we love a swim-off, Dave, that's good. Hopefully I'll have the points back working again for that one. Women's 200 metres individual medley, the national heats now. This is heat 1.
Into the national competition, then 4 heats, 3 going in the first heat, top 10 booking their place in the final. In heat number 1 here in lane 3, from Northampton we have Ellie Spokes. In lane 4 in the middle from Broxburn, Laura Pilkington. And in lane 5, Charlotte McGuinness from Harrogate.
All in the SM6 class. 3 swimmers there, Ellie Spokes, Laura Pilkington, and Charlotte McGuinness. Ellie Spokes, the younger of the 3 in this one. Just 15 years of age this year. See Laura Pilkington yesterday have a very good swim in the 100 freestyle. Pleased with that time that she did yesterday, so she'll be strong in the closing stages of this one. At the moment, she's being headed by the 2 outsider, Ellie Spokes and Charlotte McGuinness.
Just to go back to that swim-off, to confirm that it will take place at the end of this event, the Women's National 200 Individual Medley. So at the end of the 4th heat, we'll be having 2 swim-offs in the 50-meter freestyle competition. In the women's, it'll be between Rebecca Redfern of Great Britain and Anaëlle Roulet of France. And in the men's, it'll be between Great Britain's Matthew Wiley and Jonathan Fox. The highest points total will book their place in the final later on today.
Well, looks like lane 3, Ellie Spokes from Northampton. We saw her earlier. All of that Northampton squad doing really well at the moment. Laura Pilkington coming through into 2nd though. She'll be pleased with this progress so far. She had the fastest entry time, quite well ahead of the others actually, Laura Pilkington. 18 seconds ahead of Ellie Spokes and 12 seconds ahead of Charlotte McGuinness, but as we've seen so far over the last couple of days, you could get big improvements here, especially in these national heats. The young swimmers making strides. And as we go into the second half of this one, Laura Pilkington will be playing catch-up now on Ellie Spokes. Ellie Spokes, oh, she does look pretty comfortable on that breaststroke in the early stages.
Well, the times at the split then, Ellie Spokes of Northampton, 2:18.34. Just behind her, Laura Pilkington, 2:19.52. Charlotte McGuinness turning into the breaststroke lap in 2:28.99. Now in lane 5, but McGuinness really starting to catch up with Pilkington in lane 4. A quick breaststroker. And she's a few strokes away from moving up into 2nd place.
Yeah, Pilkington being caught now. She's going to have a lot of work to do on that freestyle. And Ellie Spokes is away and clear, but Charlotte McGuinness coming back. Didn't like the backstroke much, Charlotte McGuinness, but she seems to like the breaststroke here. She's gone ahead, she's gone into 2nd position ahead of Laura Pilkington. But Ellie Spokes has stretched away here. I mean, she was only a 2nd ahead of Laura Pilkington at that bottom end. It's going to be a huge margin now for the other swimmers to make up as she goes on to the freestyle leg.
3:36.81, then Spokes turns first into the final 50 metres. She's going to have around about 15 metres of lead when the others do reach the turn. Pilkington, 3:54.16, should I say, and 3:48.57 for McGuinness in 2nd place. All of these SM6 swimmers, of course, so it is a straight shootout. The fastest swimmer will post the highest score as well. But into the final 20 meters now for Ellie Spokes. 3:36.81 at the turn. This is going to be an excellent time. And despite the comeback from Pilkington and McGuinness, who've had strong final 50 meters, it's going to be Ellie Spokes who takes the win in heat number 1 of the national 200 individual medley.
Into the last 5 now, Ellie Spokes from Northampton is going to take this one. It's been a ding-dong battle for second. Spokes takes it in 4:38, just outside her entry time of 4:37. And Laura Pilkington, well, the lead changed between Charlotte McGuinness and Laura Pilkington all the way through that. And at the end, it was Laura Pilkington who takes that one, 4:45.75 against 4:47.55. Too many 7s and 5s there for me, Dave.
It was a good race to kick things off. 3 go head-to-head and Spokes comes out on top. 268 points is enough for the win. 249 for Pilkington, 245 for McGuinness in heat 1. That is the official result. They're now on the starting blocks, ready for heat 2. Away we go in heat 2. And in lane 0 from Doncaster Darts, it's Holly Pinder. In 1 from Northampton, Scarlett Humphrey. In 2 from Camden Swiss, Leah O'Connell. In 3 representing Harrogate is Charlie Vines. Harriet Dickinson from Gloucester goes in 4. And from Manchester and North West District, it's Eleanor Bamber in 5. Ferna Ioanu of Wickham in 6. Georgia Howell Littlehampton goes in 7. Megan Willis of Torvine in 8. And Sally Phillips of Gloucester goes in 9. And we're already up to the first 50 metres. And turning first is going to be Charlie Vine in lane 3. 39.74 for her, just ahead of Bamber. 39.87 is the second quickest through 50 metres. Dickinson just not breaching that 40 seconds. 41.77 in third place. And Leah O'Connell from Camden Swift turns in 4th. In 43.37. God, it's close between those top 3 in this second lap.
It certainly is. It's the seeded heats. We're in the last 3 heats now. Remember, the top 10 in terms of points will make it into that national final tonight. I have seen Harriet Dickinson go very well, the Gloucester swimmer, in the first couple of days here. We saw her earlier this morning. A couple of good swims yesterday as well. She leads them 125.81. Eleanor Bamber in 2nd. Charlie Vines in 3rd place. And breaststroke often very important in the individual medley. Let's see if that can make a difference here. Harriet Dickinson certainly looking strong, but that green cap of Wickham, it's Ferna Ioanu coming back strongly on that breaststroke, pulling up alongside Eleanor Bamber.
It was 125.81 for Dickinson at that split. Very quick from her. However, it is Ioanu, the SM14 from Wickham District, looking like she's thoroughly enjoying this breaststroke length, using it as an opportunity to fight her way back into heat number 2. Looking to post a big score, remember, all 3 in the 200s in the opening heat. And let's take a look at the clock then as we approach the final split. It's going to be Dickinson who turns first in 221.97. 226.44 for Bamber and 228 for Ioanu in 3rd place. It was an excellent breaststroke length from Dickinson. who's taken a healthy lead now as she approaches the final 25 metres of this heat.
Harriet Dickinson on her way to surely winning this one. In terms of points, well, we'll have to watch out for the lower classifications as well. Georgia Howell in lane 7. See how she gets on, Leah O'Connell and Sally Phillips. But at the moment, at the front, it is Harriet Dickinson, and she is in now in 3:02.69. Just over the 3-minute mark for Harriet, 4.99 points. Fernayanu, well, she did pick up very well on the second half of that one. She gets in second position in terms of her finishing position. In terms of who's going to win the points, well, I wonder what Leah O'Connell can do here in lane number 2. She's just coming in now. Use of that one arm there, Leah O'Connell. About to finish now. Well, watch out for the points totals. Yeah, just behind Harriet Dickinson, but not much in it. Georgia Howell just finishing now, right up there in lane number 7. And I think she has just eclipsed that total of Harriet Dickinson. So swimmers having to wait till the very end of that 200 metres individual medley when the swimmers in the outside lanes come in, just to make sure where they finish in terms of points.
So provisionally, 550 points. Georgia Howell, the first to go up over 500. Harriet Dickinson, 4.99 and 4.92 for Leah O'Connell. Out there in lane number 9, Sally Phillips. Just swimming her final 10 metres. Phillips of Gloucester in the SM7 classification. Touches and stops the clock in just over 4.5 minutes. 4:30.89 and 240 points for her. Georgia Howell, 550 points. Excellent swim and a good time too in the SM6 classification. 390.40. Dickinson just shy of that 500-point mark. So if that qualifies her for the final, that'll certainly be something that she targets moving on into those medal races. Eleanor Bamber provisionally in 3rd place with 449. 4th place, should I say, because Leah O'Connell, Camden Swiss in the SM7 classification, 492 for her. And just like that, we have a couple of provisional disqualifications. O'Connell, Willis and Phillips, all with DQs next to their names. So it's 550 points for Howell first, Dickinson 499 second, Bamber 449 in 3rd place after 2 heats, with 2 heats still to come. And please welcome to the starting blocks the athletes for heat number 3. Erin Swan of Bells Hill goes in lane 0. In lane 1, Eva French of Nuneaton. 2 and 3 are empty, so we move on to Megan Neve of City of Derby in 4, and Aliyah Bachakola, Borough of Kirklees in 5. From Devonport in 6, Abigail Daly. Isabel Dean of Leicester Penguins goes in 7. Beachfield represented by Genevieve Hunter in 8. And from University of Stirling in 9, it's Megan Short.
Well, Megan Neve, first to the wall, 36.68. The SM14 swimmers, 2 SM14s in this one. Abigail Daly as well in lane number 6, and 4 SM10s. The SM, of course, prefix before the race indicating it's a medley race. We have SBs for breaststroke and an S prefix for all the others. The SM14 swimmer there, Megan Neve, saw her swim very strongly in the breaststroke, so we'll be hoping that she'll be able to do that in this medley, and it looks like she's going to have a clear lead as they go into the second half. I would expect that to increase. Aliyah Bachakola had a good first day, certainly some good swims. yesterday morning. Quite so lucky in the heats last night, but Megan Neve leads her. Badjakola in second.
120.57 at the split for Neve. Badjakola 129.58 and 133.01 for Daly in 6, and outside her in 7, Isabel Dean turns in 145.94. Remember the top scores going into this heat 3: 550 for Howell, 499 for Dickinson, and 492 for Leah O'Connell, the SM7 swimmer in heat 2. And SM7 in heat 3 as well. Megan Short is going in lane 9. She turned at the halfway point in 1:55.65, but Neva's already began her final lap, turning through 150 meters in 2:14.02.
Yeah, big lead there. Badjakola in second, 10-second the difference between the top two. Looks like the red cap there of Devonport, SM14 swimmer Abigail Bailey is going to touch in third place here, but Megan Neve is swimming really well here. And she'll be the next in another batch of SM14 swimmers to make a breakthrough into the GB team. Certainly had a good couple of days, Megan Neve. And that time of 2:52.90, just a second outside her entry time, 2:51. Leah Badjakola, 3:05 was her entry time, and again she's going to be around about a second or so out of that one, 3:08.64. And in lane number 6, Abigail Daly from Devonport, clear in third position. In terms of the points, Megan Neve, 513 points. I think that is going to be tough to beat, I think. We have some swimmers in the lower classifications, Megan Short and Genevieve Hunter in 8 and 9. I think they are going to struggle to beat the points total already posted by Megan Neve.
Well, 513 from Neve, the second swimmer to go up over 500 points after Howell. Still the top scorer with 550, but with one heat to go, it's in an excellent position to qualify for the final. Of course, you never know till all the swimmers have finished and all of the scores are in. Hunter stops the clock just under 4 minutes for 276 points. And in lane 9, Megan Short from Stirling comes to the end of her race. Outside of her entry time of 4:02, she stops the clock in 4:21.80 for 266 points. And Megan Neve provisionally taking the victory there, 513. Puts her in second place, looking to finish in the top 10 to qualify for the final in this evening's session. Badjakola, 453. That'll be enough points to qualify at the moment. She'll be hanging on, waiting to see the results in the fourth and final heat number 4.
We're still waiting for confirmation of these. Let's hope that there are no more disqualifications. It's a nervous wait when these scores don't come up immediately. It's never a good sign. It means the officials are discussing things, making sure that everyone has abided by the rules.
Well, the longer it goes on, the more likely it is to be a disqualification. And the board's starting to flash now. Badjakola is one of the ones with DQ next to her name, as is Eva French, Hunter and Short. At the moment, though, the top score, Megan Neve, 513, is unaffected. There are 4 names with disqualification next to them. And the 2 non-starters will only actually register 4 scores from heat number 3. And there is the confirmed results. Just the 4 scores then. Swan with 266 takes 4th. Dean, 294 3rd. Daly, 310 2nd. And Megan Neve, 1st in that race, 2nd overall with 513 points in heat number 3. It's now time for the 4th and final heat, heat number 4. Heat number 4 away first time, chasing down that benchmark score, 550 set by Georgia Howell. From City of Manchester in 0, it's Rachel Partington. In 1, Eliza Humphrey from Northampton. Portia Jones of Shrewsbury goes in 2. From Marple in 3, it's Rachel Tweedy. And Brock Whiston of Barking and Dagenham goes in 4. In 5, from Cockermouth, Drew Stables. Hayley Milne goes in 6, representing Grantham. From Satellite, it's Samantha Lewis in 7. Charlotte Hyde of Camden Swiss in 8. And in 9, from Orion, Anna Binns.
So Brock Whiston yesterday, Barking and Dagenham, swim a very good breaststroke swim. She was a little bit disappointed in the final to go a little bit slower than she went in the heats, but she's away and clear already in the early stages of this one with the breaststroke still to come. So Barking and Dagenham swimmer, of course, was the highest points total in that breaststroke yesterday, and she'll be firm favourite to repeat that in the 200 metres individual medley. Great swim so far. They're only coming up to halfway, and arguably her best stroke yet to come.
And it was 34.32 at the first split, 117.49 at the second for Brock Whiston. Going to beat Drew Stables, her fellow SM10, turning in second place, but 127.10, over 9.5 seconds behind. And Rachel Tweedy of Marple turns in third at 130.45. And Brock Whiston thriving in the breaststroke lap, as we'd expect. She could even extend her lead going into the final 50 metres.
I'm sure she will be doing that. Great strength there for Brock Whiston. First time we've really seen her at a national competition was yesterday, and she impressed us in that breaststroke. Coming back now in just under the 2-minute mark, 159.12. So the 2-minute mark was really one of the benchmarks for the last couple of heats in that World Para Series heats earlier. Brock Whiston right up there. Drew Stables still in second place, Rachel Tweedy in third, but Brock Whiston is almost going to be at the finish before the second place swimmer reaches that top wall. Drew Stables just going over now in that time of 2:28, and Brock Whiston with just 10 metres to go. We'll have an eye on the clock. It's going to be somewhere around about the 2:40 mark. 2:39.43 for Brock Whiston, 751 points.
She made 20 seconds on that breaststroke length. A huge score from Whiston, 751. What a remarkable time in Heat 4 of this national competition. Now the race is on for second place. Drew Stables in lane 5. And in lane 3, Rachel Tweedy. Stables is just going to have the edge on this one. Stops the clock in 3:08.61 for 453 points. Tweedy, 386 after her 3:10.08.
So the other swimmers just finishing now. Number 6, Hayley Milne, 542 points for her. Down a swimmer in the lower numerical classes, getting a high points total. She's not going to challenge the 751 point, that's for sure, from Brock Whiston. Hayley Milne's lying in second at the moment. I think that's probably going to where she is going to finish. And the other swimmers come in, Charlotte Hyde, another SM7, 3:48. Right on the outside there, lane number 9, the Orion swimmer. Seen a couple of Orion swimmers already this week. Anna Binns for the SM12 class, visually impaired swimmer. In lane number 9 will be the final swimmer to finish, and she is in 4:12. Well done, Anna Binns. And she just over the 4-minute mark, 189 points.
Well, the lead score going into this final heat was 550, set back in Heat 1 by Georgia Howell. Brock Whiston has put over 200 points on that. An excellent time in lane 4, 2:39.43. But Hayley Milne in lane 6, 542 points. Will certainly be in contention for a top 3 finish as soon as these results are confirmed. But once again, ominous weights, especially after last time, 4 DQs. And there we have the first of them. Charlotte Hyde has a DQ next to her name, but that top score, Brock Whiston, hasn't moved at the moment. And there is the confirmed result. Brock Whiston in the SM10 classification, 751 points. She'll take the #1 seed into the final. Haney Milne as well, 542. She should be there.
Yeah, very good swim there from Brock Whiston. She will be definitely first into that final with a huge advantage there. 200 points ahead of Georgia Hull. Continues to swim really well. And Haley Milne posting some good times as well. That'll be your top 3 moving into that final.
Charlie Vines just getting into the top 10 provisionally, of course. Those are the top 10 that qualify, but that is not the confirmed final start list for this evening's session. So now we go back to the 50-meter start block, the first of 2 swim-offs for a place in the 50-meter freestyle final. Going in lane 4, representing Great Britain is Rebecca Redfern. Next to her in lane 5, from France, Anaëlle Roulet.
Wait for the setup there to be confirmed for this swim-off. First 2 swim-offs. Redfern and Roulet.
Well, after a dead heat earlier on, it is a winner-takes-all route to the final. Redfern of Great Britain, the S13 in lane 4. Roulet of France, the S10 in lane 5. The highest score will be in the final later, and it is neck and neck at the halfway point.
I think Redfern has got to have a little bit of a gap ahead of Roulet to be ahead in the points total. Roulet is able to play catch up here, try and track Rebecca Redfern here. Rebecca Redfern is going to be first to the wall in 29.38, and it is enough for Roulet to take it by just 5 points. Well, they were absolutely together in points in the qualification heats, but this time 5 points is the difference, and Anaëlle Roulet will progress.
Well, we expected it to be tight, and it certainly was. Of course, that's not the confirmed result yet, but as it stands, Roulet booking her place in the final as 30th place, 762 points against 757. There is the confirmation. Roulet from France books her place in the 50-meter freestyle final this evening. It's a good swim and a good time as well, both under 30 seconds, but it's Roulet who progresses. And we move on to the second swim-off, this time in the men's 50 freestyle competition. In lane 4, from Great Britain, Matthew Wiley. And in lane 5, Jonathan Fox. Underway then, Wiley versus Fox after Roulet booked her place in the final. Expecting this one to be equally as tight, an S10 versus an S8.
Yeah, great friends and great rivals, these two guys, both Paralympic gold medalists. And Matt Wiley has got to put as much distance as he can ahead of Jonathan Fox to be ahead on points. Wiley in 26.37. Is it going to be enough? Fox is in there. It is enough. 29.42 for Fox, but the difference is 40 points. Not quite as close as the women, but Matt Wiley will take that one. He will progress.
677 points. Of course, no pressure on the swimmers, but a good bit of drama for us here in the commentary box and the spectators as well. 2 swim-offs for a place in the final. And Matthew Wiley will be back later on this evening. Great swim from him. 677 points is enough to see him back later on this evening. Confirmed result, Wiley in first, Fox in second. Wiley progresses.
Yeah, 40 points. Not too much in that one, but 5 points for the women. Well, that was really close. You're coming down to hundredths of a second there when you're talking about 5 points, but Nell Roulet, Matt Wiley win the swim-offs. We now go to the next set of heats. It's the World Series heats in the men's 200 meters individual medley. Heat 1 is nearly ready to go.
Eight scheduled heats then in the men's 200 individual medley in this World Series session of heats. João Campos in 1 for Portugal, Rojas Cabrera of Spain in 2, Giofreda, USA in 3, Julien Viau of France in 4, Chandra Tell of India in 5, Islam Dokayev of Belgium in 6, Patrick Flanagan, Ireland in 7, and Mohammed Sheikh of India goes in lane 8. Just reaching the first athlete at the turn, and Dokayev of Belgium turns first in 36.11 ahead of Giofreda of the United States in second place, 38.50. There's the only two to break the 40-second mark over the first 50 meters.
Dokayev, SM8 swimmer, kept in his lower limbs. See the strong arms. No impairment, the lower limbs impaired here, so quite a decent backstroke by the looks of things for Islam Dokayev from Belgium. And the breaststroke, now we'll see how he gets on there. Quite often with the lower limb impairments, the breaststroke will be more affected. We will see Julien Viau from France in the SM6 class going well in lane number 4, a couple of the world's best SM6 swimmers yet to come. They'll come in a couple of heats' time. It's like a strong breaststroke though there by the Belgian swimmer, Islam Dokayev. It looks like he's going to maintain that lead. Is it going to be enough to get him in front in terms of points? Conor Giofreda going well, the American in lane number 3. just overtaken the Frenchman, but the Frenchman, well, responded there. These two having a ding-dong battle in the middle.
And Dokayev 7 seconds ahead at that turn. But a few swimmers could be chewing into that lead in lane 3. Giuffreda and Vio in lane 4. Still chasing Dokayev at the moment, but closing that gap that was 7 seconds at the turn. Let's see what it is as we go into the final 50 meters. It's going to be Dokayev who turns first. It was 124.74 after 100 meters. It's 226.24 after 150. Next to turn in second place, 229.94 Giuffreda. So he's made 4 seconds up in that third 50 meters. What's he got in the tank for the freestyle? Dokayev has led throughout, but that lead coming under severe scrutiny now as we approach the last 25.
Well, Giuffreda came off the wall really fast there, got him a little bit of an advantage over Julien Vio from France, but the Frenchman trying to come back now. Looks like Dokayev is going to hold on here, the Belgian in lane number 6. But it is a real battle for second in this one, and maybe the top points earners will come from this tussle for second. Dokayev gets in 3:08.23. Oh, it's close at the end. The long arm of Julien Vio just getting the touch, but they are equal on points. 564 points. Well, another tie on points but they are the same class, the two SM6 swimmers, so we will go to time. We won't need a swimmer for that one.
Well, great drama though, a brilliant race and a great way to kick things off. This just the first heat, of course. 7 to come after this, and Vio and Giuffreda are setting that benchmark score in 5. The Indian Chandra Telly stops the clock in 2:21. Still 50 meters to go for Sheikh in lane 8. He'll be the last to stop the clock at 150 meters. And goes into his freestyle length, 45 meters to go for him in lane 8. But some good racing there. Scores up over 400 for Patrick Flanagan of Ireland, 461 for him. Dokayev, 412, and Rojas Cabrera, 415. But Vio and Giuffreda really spurring each other on, neck and neck throughout, and posting good benchmark scores of 564 points in heat number 1.
Yeah, it was a good tussle between the two of them. Giuffreda used the breaststroke to good advantage. He got off the wall that very last turn, took him ahead of Julien Vio, gave him the advantage, but the Frenchman was coming back all the time down that last 50 and just about caught him right at the final meter. The final stroke, those long arms of Julien Vio, proving vital in that very last stage of that 200 meters individual medley. We do have Mohammed Said now coming in to the closing stages now, the last couple of meters for the Indian swimmer, and he is going to be in now. His entry time was in the 4-minute mark. He's just dipped under the 5 minutes here, so 5:02.24 for the Indian swimmer in lane number 8.
Unofficial results then, Giuffreda and Vio, 564 points. Islam Dokayev has been disqualified. So Flanagan takes third place with 461 points. Rojas Cabrera of Spain in fourth with 415. But the leaders after heat 1, Giuffreda and Vio, both on 564 points. It's now time to welcome the swimmers in heat number 2. In lane 0, representing India, Chetan Giritaraut. In 1 from Israel, Yoav Valinsky. In lane 2 from Ireland, Jonathan McGrath. And also from Ireland in 3, Murray Connor. Benche Ivan of Hungary goes in lane 4. In lane 5, Arthur Ferrier of France. Enzo Verpio of France goes in 6. Kilian Jackie Luciao of Belgium in 7, Prodanovic of Germany in 8, and Alexander Goodman of Great Britain in lane 9. And off to a flyer in 0. His route, the Indian, 33.53 through 50 meters.
Well, the Indian team, a few new names that I haven't seen before at the international competitions. When we come to good opportunity to get swimmers classified. Of course, the World Championships next year in Malaysia, not too far away from India. Maybe they're hoping to get a big team there in the build-up to Tokyo. Another Asian Paralympic Games in the offing. So the Indian swimmer in lane 0. Looks like he's going to have this lead. Jonathan McGrath from Ireland, experienced Irish swimmer. He's been a fixture in the international team for Ireland a number of years. He, of course, hoping to perform well at his home European Championships in the summer in August. Where the para-swimming Europeans go to Dublin. Jonathan McGrath hoping to be there. But just about heading the Indian swimmer as they come up. But two swimmers just bringing them back into contention on this breaststroke. It's Murray Connor and Enzo Verpio from France in lane number 6. So it's very close. 4 swimmers as they go into this final turn, still in contention.
Well, I'm interested to see how Raoult holds on into this final 50 meters. His entry time, almost a full 10 seconds slower than the 3 in 3, 4, and 5. Connor, Ivan, and Ferrier. 0.24 seconds separating them on their entry times, but it is Raoult who turns in 2:15.75. He'll lead going into the final 50 meters from Murray Connor of Ireland. 2:16.79 for him. Bencher Ivan, 2:18.21, and Arthur Ferrier, 2:21.26 with a little bit of catching up to do.
Oh, he does look strong, doesn't he, Raoult, in the outside lane. He's swimming away from the others. They were catching him on the breaststroke, but in the freestyle, he is going to stretch that lead. McGrath should be in 2nd position now, but it is going to go to Raoult. He's led from pretty much start to finish, and he's in 2:53.18, and that is a great time for the Indian there. A big improvement of some 19 seconds from his entry time. Of course, it's not the highest points earner. He is the highest classification, so the ones in the lower classes, the SM7s and the SM8s, and also Walensky in the SM6 class. He challenged that points total, but in the 600 range, Ben Sivan, good swim from the Hungarian.
He's the first step over that 600 point mark, 6:64. What a swim there from Raoult, an entry time of 3:12.15, going well under 3 minutes. In terms of objectives, that had to be up there for this competition, so that's a job well done for him in lane 0.
Yeah, good morning's work certainly for the Indian there. Raoult swam that well, 2:53.18. That wouldn't have been out of place in this next heat. But he had the moment of glory winning that heat there for the Indian. 393 points, but Ben Sivan, good swim in the centre there for the Hungarian, 6:64 provisionally, of course.
Always good to see an outside lane flyer as well, isn't it? It's great beginning from him as we see a couple of disqualifications flashing up. Goodman and Luciao, the Belgian and the Brit. And that is confirmed. Those two disqualified, so Ivan of Hungary takes the win. 664 points. Verpio close to that 600 mark, 593. Walensky of Israel also up over 500, 554, enough to take 3rd place in heat number 2. Now it's time to meet the athletes in heat 3. Everyone with an entry time of under 3 minutes in Heat 3. Going in lane 0, Hicham Boufakein of Canada. Representing Malaysia in 1, it's James Tien Yu Wong. Roderick Sewell of USA goes in 2. Shayapol Renkwang Kwai of Thailand in 3. From USA in 4, it's Garner Moss. Nelson Crispin of Colombia goes in lane 5. From Brazil in 6, it's Taliesin Glock. Liang Chu-han of Singapore goes in 7. Jirashot Chuvong of Thailand in 8. And Vicente Almonacid Hayel of Chile in lane 9.
The ones you really have to look for the highest points totals are going to be Taliesin Glock, Brazilian, in lane number 6, and Nelson Crispin, the Colombian, in lane number 5. We've had some good races against each other in the past. The two swimmers there, both in the SM6 classification, both medalists at the major championships, and Taliesin Glock using this backstroke. But the second half of this race, Nelson Crispin, you would expect to come back on the Brazilian. Kind of shared the honours in recent years, Taliesin Glock and Nelson Crispin. I think that they will be the highest points total should be, but Glock going over in second place. Leader at the moment, Garner Moss from the USA, the SM14 classification. And Nelson Crispin has got a little bit of catch up to go to see if he can catch Taliesin Glock with that yellow cap. Nelson Crispin 1 lane down in lane number 5, but Garner Moss swimming very well, the USA swimmer.
Tien Yu Wong of Malaysia in lane 1 starting to go well too. 110.90 for Garner Moss at the halfway point, 116.89 for Taliesin Glock, 119.10 for Renkwang Kwai. But Garner Moss is going to be approaching his final 50 meters. He reaches the turn after 3 lengths in 2:01.21. Garner Moss, an excellent time for the SM14. It won't be the highest points total, but he will certainly be putting a good time in here. In second place, Renkwang Kwai, 2:06.62 at the turn. What a breaststroke leg from him. Chu-han turns in third, 2:09.94. And in fourth, it's the Chilean with 2:10.24 in lane 9.
Garner Moss on his way home now, and he's got to get in here into the last 5 in a very good time. The American entry time 2:46, and he's improved that to 2:38. Very good for Garner Moss, 537 points. The tussle between the two S6s about to come to a conclusion here. Taliesin Glock with the yellow cap has been overtaken by Nelson Crispin, and they are in 760 and 769 points respectively. Nelson Crispin just caught Taliesin Glock towards the end of that breaststroke, and it was good enough to hold on the freestyle leg. Nelson Crispin, as we thought, in for the highest points totals, but not much in it there. Taliesin Glock in second position, just 9 points of the difference. We'll be hoping to do it all again in the final.
Well, the bar's been raised in terms of scores leading into heat number 3. Ivan of Hungary, 664, took the lead. We've got provisional scores, 769 and 760, Crispin and Glock. Garner Moss, though, was out on his own for a lot of that race, 537 points. Boufakein has been disqualified, as has Yu Wong in 0 and 1. And Taliesin Glock, the Brazilian, has a DQ next to his name as well. So that 760 will be wiped off the board. And the confirmed result is Nelson Crispin, Colombia, 769. Garner Moss, USA, 537. Just ahead of Hale of Chile, 535 points at the end of Heat 3. Now it's time to meet the athletes in Heat number 4. Away we go, Heat 4 of 8. Pipo Colomano of Argentina in 0. In lane 1, Orellano of Argentina. Lane 2 is empty. Singapore represented by Jiwei Wong in 3. Carlos Serrano Zarate of Colombia in 4. Kotaro Ogiwara of Japan in 5, Sean O'Riordan of Ireland in 6, Tom Mixelsberger of Germany in 7. It's Germany in 8 and 9 as well. Justin Capps in 8 and Tobias Pollap in 9.
Carlos Serrano Zarate will be the favourite to take this one. The Colombian's in great form, actually. Nelson Crispin, we saw him in that previous heat. Top points total. Carlos Serrano Zarate very strong in the second half, just like Nelson Crispin, very, very similar. Very good breaststrokers, very good freestyler. So the green cap of the Colombian just coming into the last 10 now. Expect them to move through the field as they go into the second half of this one.
Carlo Magno turns first in 112.68. And it's tight as well, 112.70 O'Riordan and 112.92 is Jiwei Wong in lane 3. So very, very close in terms of the fastest times. But in lane 6, Sean O'Riordan, the SM13 from Ireland, just edging in front, enjoying this breaststroke length, looking to extend that lead, but also going well in 3 is Jiwei Wong. Those two have really opened up some space in this third 50 meters.
Serrano Zarate is making inroads into the lead of the swimmers alongside him. Sean O'Riordan, though, going really well. He's going to retain that lead as they come into that final turn here. Jiwei Wong from Singapore just about to be overtaken by Zarate. Very close there between the two of them. Going over in first, Sean O'Riordan 159.39. Zarate in 203.62, and Jiwei Wong just ahead of him in 202.91. That Zarate has gone ahead now, but it doesn't look like he's going to catch Sean O'Riordan from Ireland, the SM13 swimmer. And in the outside lane, finishing really strong, is Justin Capps from Germany, the SM10 swimmer. But it is O'Riordan who's going to take this one. I wonder what the time is going to be for the Irishman at 2:37.85. So well done for Sean O'Riordan, an improvement for him. In second place, touching the wall in second, is Justin Capps. What a good finish that was from the German up at the top there. 500 points exactly. And the top points earner, as we thought they might be, Carlos Serrano Zarate in the centre lanes. Let's hope that these results are confirmed without DQs.
Well, some big scores in there. Pollap in the outside lane, getting up over 700, but Zarate, 836 points provisionally. The first man up over 800. Some nice scores in the 500s in the outside lanes on the other side as well. Got a disqualification on Carlo Magno. Orellana, though, 594 points. That'll put him in contention for a final. It's enough for third place here. The confirmed result, Carlos Serrano Zarate of Colombia, 836 points. Pollap of Germany, 708. Orellana of Argentina, 594, is the top 3 in heat number 4. It's now time for heat 5. This is heat number 5 of 8, and in lane 0, representing Portugal, David Grachat. Representing Netherlands in 1, Simon Boer. From Great Britain in 2, it's Oliver Carter. Malte Braunschweig of Germany goes in lane 3. In lane 4, from United States of America, David Gelfand. Juan Lima de Souza of Brazil in 5. In 6, from France, Florent Moret. In 7, Barry McClements from Ireland. Representing Germany in 8, it's Felix Uli Fichtelmann. And Benjamin Granger of Great Britain goes in lane number 9.
Before Florian Marais. Good start there for the French swimmer, 29.04. Same yesterday, the French team has grown in size over the last couple of years, got a few good new swimmers in, and this is one of the newcomers in line number 6. 17 years of age, young man Florian Marais. He's going to lead them through. SM10 swimmer, been pretty good on the backstroke. Next to him, Barry McClements, represented Ireland in the European Championships a couple of years ago. Also went to the Commonwealth Games recently. He'll be in the Irish team, I'm sure, when they go to Dublin. What about this in lane number 5? Ruan Lima de Sousa from Brazil. Very much an integral part of the Brazilian relay team. They have the real stars, real world stars, Andre Brazil, Felipe Rodriguez, Daniel Diaz, and Ruan Lima de Sousa is the 4th member of that medley relay team as the breaststroker, and he's showing why, because he's gone ahead of the rest of the field here. Great breaststroke in there from Ruan Lima de Sousa.
Well, he was 3 seconds down at the turn. Now, 1:49.98, he's 3 seconds up. What a turnaround in that final 30, and he's looking strong in the freestyle as well, but Florian Marais outside it, maybe starting to just edge back into it, but he's not got long to take the victory into the final 20 meters. Lima de Sousa leading heat number 5.
And he's coming in to the closing stages now. Florian Marais is trying to come back. He's going to come back strongly, but it's not going to be enough. David Gelfand from the USA, the SM9 swimmer, is going to be 3rd. I wonder if that is going to be enough points for the USA swimmer to overtake the leading 2. Well, it is 725 points, just getting ahead of Portugal's David Grachat in the outside lane there. It looks like the USA swimmer may well be the top points earner as the swimmers come in. All finished now, and I think that is the case, but good swim there from the 2 SM9s, Gelfand and Grachat.
Carlos Serrano Zarati's 836 points. Not coming in any danger there, but Gelfand 725, Grachat 722. Some good qualifying scores there as we move into the international finals later. Still unconfirmed that Ruan Lima de Sousa, what a brilliant second 100 meters from him to post that 223.99 and 684 points. Florian Marais, it's a good battle between those two. 638 for him. Barry McClements of Ireland as well, the SM9, 642 points. Possibly be enough to get into one of those 3 finals later on. Of course, the finals, incredibly interesting because they're seeded by times, not by scores. And we're likely to get medalists from any of the 3 finals later on. So again, an ominous wait. Confirmation required for these scores in heat number 5. Provisionally, Gelfand 725 and Grachat 722, the 2 highest scores, the only 2 up over 700 points. Still 3 scheduled heats to come. Florian Marais, there's a disqualification on the Frenchman in lane 6. So it is confirmed. David Gelfand and David Grachat, USA and Portugal, 1 and 2, 725, 722. At the end of heat 5, the Brazilian de Sousa with 684 takes 3rd place, which should be enough to book a place in the final. 3 heats remaining. Let's welcome heat 6. Heat number 6 then, 836, still the benchmark score as Hong Ying Wong from Hong Kong goes in lane 0. Tim van Duren of Netherlands in 1, Scott Quinn, Great Britain in 2, Wai Lok Tang in lane 3 from Hong Kong. From Japan, Dai Tokeirin in lane 5, Waki Choi in lane 6, Adam Ishmael Venom in 7, Ka Chun Hui, Tis van den End goes in 8, and Jacob Leach from Great Britain in lane 9.
Oh, just 2 classes represented in this one. SM14 in the middle lanes. Lane 2 right through to lane number 7. 3 SM9s in 1, 8 and 9. And in lane number 0. Down at the bottom there, another SM14 on Ying Wong from Hong Kong. Hong Kong well represented, got 4 swimmers in this one. Wai Lok Tan, gold medalist in the Paralympic Games in Rio in the 200 freestyle. Real shock when that was for the Hong Kong swimmer. Dai Tokarin swam well yesterday. Japanese swimmer, looking in good shape. Good find for the Japanese team by the looks of things. Being chased now by Wakit Choi from Hong Kong in second. Watch out for the breaststrokers though. Scott Quinn may come back into contention in lane number 2 after that medal yesterday in the 100 breaststroke.
At the moment, it's all about the man in lane 4 though. Dai Tokarin of Japan turned at the halfway point in 1:03.28 ahead of Wakit Choi, 1:05.71. He's going to slightly increase that lead going into the final 50 as well. 1:42.68. And it's 1:46.47 for Wakit Choi. So he slightly extended that lead. So it's going to be a straight shootout between these two in the middle lanes as to who has the quickest time. Scott Quinn of Great Britain turning in 1:50 exactly. That's the 3rd fastest thus far. Venom just behind him, 1:50.98. But coming into the final strokes, Dai Tokarin of Japan is going to post the fastest time in Heat 6.
And it's a decent time too, 2:13.85, 895 points. Well, high points totals here. Scott Quinn just about to hold on there to 3rd place. He did pick up on the breaststroke as expected, 2:23.87 for Scott Quinn. Couldn't catch the two in the middle note. Dai Tokarin and Wakit Choi over the 800-point mark. And I don't think any of the SM9s challenging those type of points totals.
Well, Tokarin, that actually takes him to the top of the tree. It was 836 by Serrano Zarata going into heat number 6 with Tokarin. 2:13.85 in that showpiece lane, lane number 4, leading the way at 895 points. The provisional score as we await confirmation. We'll have him as the number 1 seed as we move into the finals later on today. Of course, still so much to swim for. But what about Wakit Choi up over the 800-point mark as well? 819 in that SM14 classification for Wakit Choi. A couple of disqualifications, Van Duren and Wong. Kachun Hui with a disqualification as well. It's not affected the top scores, but still a nervous wait. But now the classification is through. DQs for Wong, Hu and Van Duren. But Tokarin and Wakit Choi up over 800 points. They'll be in the finals later on today. And as it stands, Tokarin is the top seed.
Jacob Leach just 1 point ahead of the Netherlands swimmer. I wonder if that'll be vital getting to the final.
It's now time to welcome the athletes for Heat 7. Heat number 7, and some real quality SM14s in this field. Let's see if they can get close to that 895 point set by Tokarin. In 0, representing France, Alex Portal. Genki Saito of Japan in 1. From Great Britain in 2, Jack Milne. Also of Great Britain in 3, Jack Thomas. Bas Taken of Netherlands goes in 4. And then there's 4 Brits next to each other. In 5, Jordan Catchpole. 6, Connor Morrison. 7, Tyler Ioanu. 8, Alex Rosser. And representing Finland in lane 9, Antti Antero Latika.
the Great Britain swimmers in this heat. We saw a few Hong Kong swimmers in the previous heat. It's dominated by Brits, this one. I wonder if any of them will have designs on that European qualifying standard. Certainly for the SM14 classification, swimmers got to go 2:14.21, which is a pretty good standard to achieve. Jordan Catchpole may be the most likely to do that. Very strong in the early stages, Jordan Catchpole. He was one of the swimmers who was strong in the 100 freestyle yesterday. May have already clinched a place on the relay squad, but to get a qualification time in an individual event, then more is the better for selection for that European team. So Jordan Catchpole leads them. Bas Takken, the Netherlands swimmer, going well. And Tyler Ayanu in lane number 7, going really well with that green cap of Wickham.
Well, Tyler Ayanu was 3 seconds back at the turn for the breaststroke, but going into the final 50 meters, it's going to be a lot tighter than that. Catchpole turns first in 1:45.72. Bas Takken just behind him, 1:46.47. Tyler Ayanu, 1:46.70, going into the final 50, and it's tightened up even more as we go into the last 25.
Well, it's very close at the front now. There are 2 swimmers now in contention. It's Jordan Catchpole in 5, Bas Takken in lane number 4. They are into the final stages, absolutely together here. It looks like it's going to go to the Netherlands. It is Bas Takken will take it. Jordan Catchpole touching the wall in 2nd. What a good finish in the outside lane by Alex Potel of France to get 3rd place at the wall. And also a very good swim for Tyler Ayanu. 2:19.56 for the man from Great Britain in lane number 7.
The Sock Irons score not in any danger, but 816 points there for Jordan Catchpole. A good time as well, 2:18 flat. That'll qualify him for a final later on. That is the official result as well. No disqualifications this time, so Jordan Catchpole tops the charts on 816 points. His compatriot Ayanu, 789, just behind him. 3rd place goes to Bas Takken of the Netherlands, 786 points. We now move into the final heat of this international competition, heat number 8. The 8th and final heat underway then, representing Ukraine in 0, Maxim Kripak. Ollie Hind of Great Britain goes in 1, Lonting Chan of Hong Kong in 2, Rogier Dorsman, Netherlands in 3, his compatriot Mark Evers in 4, Keiichi Nakajima of Japan in 5, Robert Isaac Jonsson of Iceland 6, Liam Spence, Great Britain 7, Taigi Hayashida of Japan in 8, Joseph Seaj of Great Britain goes in lane 9, and Nakajima first at the turn, 27 flat, a very quick opening 50 meters.
Very quick indeed. Again, the SM14 swimmers dominating this one. Lanes 4 through to lane 9, and also lane 2 all in the SM14 class. And Mark Evers, a Paralympic champion, will be trying to win this one ahead of Nakajima from Japan. And so watch out for Ollie Hind, the Great Britain swimmer in lane number 1. Ollie Hind dominated the 200 meters individual medley in the SM8 classification, now swimming in the SM9 class and trying to make that qualification standard for the European Championship. So watch the progress of Ollie Hind as he goes through here. Mark Evers, though, coming back, and he has overtaken Nakajima. Very good start from the Japanese swimmer, but Mark Evers looking strong on the breaststroke.
Well, after that 27-second opening 50, Nakajima just starting to slow, and Evers really growing into this one. He was over a second behind at the turn, but he is almost certainly going to lead going into the final 50 meters. Going well in 6 is Jonsson of Iceland as well, and in lane 2, Longtin Chan of Hong Kong is putting himself in contention, certainly for a top 3, but Mark Evers of the Netherlands leading Well, by 2, 3, maybe 5 or 6 meters approaching the final 25. Very, very impressive from the Dutch SM14. And now in lane 6, Jonsson's actually overtaken Nakajima. And he's coming under pressure in lane 2 for Lon Tin Chan of Hong Kong as well.
Well, Mark Evers on his way to winning this one in the heats. He'll qualify for the final in top spot, I'm sure, amongst the SM14s. 2:14.85. Mark Evers takes it. He's followed home by the world champion from last year, Robert Isaac Jonsson from Iceland, and Nakajima in third position. So great swim at the front there from Mark Evers. Excellent time that he did there, 2:14.85, the Dutchman. In first position, 875 points.
Well, that's still behind Tokairan on 8.95. But if he's kept a little bit in the tank, that could be a gargantuan contest come later on this evening in the 200 individual medley finals. And of course, the finals ranked on time, not points, so highly likely that they'll be in lanes next to each other as well, bang in the middle in the first race, setting those benchmark scores. That is certainly one not to be missed. Still provisional scores on the board, of course. Maxim Kripak getting up to 741 points. The SM10 from Ukraine, 220.22 for him. And Nakajima of Japan in lane 5, 804 points. Jonsson, 834. Plenty of big scores coming in. And all of them will fancy a medal moving on to this evening as well.
Mark Evers really caught up on the breaststroke there. He didn't intend to go that fast, but he saw Nakajima ahead of him and he thought, I'm not going to let this guy beat me here. And he just pulled up on the breaststroke and came away on that freestyle. The result is confirmed on your scoreboard. We do have a disqualification. Didn't affect the top places though. Lon Tin Chan from Hong Kong in lane number 2 was disqualified. So top 3 confirmed as Evers, Jonsson and Nakajima.
Well, we're going to get the rundown of all of the heats now, the top 30 provisionally into the final. Evers, Jonsson and Nakajima, they're confirmed as the top 3 from the final heat. Rogier Dorsman, 774, that'll put him in a good position as well. But the top 7, all over 800 points, they will be expecting to get onto that medal podium. That could be incredibly tight, particularly between Tokairan and Evers, as they go shoulder to shoulder in the final later on. We now move on to the individual medley national competition. This is heat 1 of 5. In lane 0 from Barnet Copthall, we have Sebastian Williams. Jacob Chambers, City of Manchester in 1. From Pioneer 7, and Ethan Nesbitt goes in 2. William Whitehead in 3 from Rotherham. Mount Kelly represented by William Perry in lane 4. In lane 5, Rowan Brennan from Basildon Phoenix. Owen Woodrow in 6 from City of Norwich. Levi Codling of Colville goes in lane 7. From Orion in lane 8, it's Jamie Markle. And in lane 9, representing Northampton, it is Bruce D. And the first split, 37.92, Rowan Brennan of Basildon Phoenix. He leads the way ahead of William Perry, turning in 42.33. And Ethan Naisbitt, 46.08, third after the first 50 metres.
Oh, some real youngsters in this one, Rowan Brennan being one of them. 2006 date of birth, so just 12 years of age this year. And he's going well, the SM9 swimmer in the centre lane. Fastest entry time is William Perry and Rowan Brennan, 3:21.9. And William Perry, we saw him swim a very good 50 freestyle earlier this morning, so he might come back in the closing stages here, but the youngster, the 12-year-old, really going well here at halfway point, 125.55 for Rowan Brennan. Not the only 12-year-old in this one. Bruce D in the outside lane, right up there in lane number 9, also a 12-year-old. He's in the SM6 class. So, 12-year-old SM9 swimmer from Basildon Phoenix, Rowan Brennan, putting himself in a good position. And he's looking like away and clear. and has a handy lead into this breaststroke. William Perry looking strong in the early stages of this breaststroke though. Comfortable. We know his freestyle is going to be strong. Swimmer in lane number 4 in that white cap in the yellow lanes. Pulling up into second now. Rowan Brennan is going to lead them into this last turn.
Owen Woodrow in lane 6 from Norwich in that white cap, looking strong in this breaststroke as well. He's very much on Levi Codling's tail. He's just to his left in lane 7. But reaching the turn for the final 50 in first place will be Rowan Brennan from Basildon Phoenix. Stops the clock in 2:28.58. And he is well on the way in his freestyle before lane 4's William Perry stops the clock in 2:33.27. Third at the turn is lane 7, Levi Codling, 2:40.61. And then Owen Woodrow in fourth place from City of Norwich, 2:44.55. But a strong finish in lane 5 from Rowan Brennan. He is going to take this opening heat. And he's had an excellent final 50 metres, built on a great opening 150.
Yeah, lots of energy left there for Rowan Brennan, who touches in 3:07.42. Great improvement there, 14 seconds. And he's really delighted there. Fist up there at the scoreboard. Excellent time there, 3:07.42. William Perry in second, 3:19. It's a good time for him, for the Mount Kelly swimmer. He'll be pleased with that. 501 points as well. He'd be pleased with that points total to get over the 500 mark. Always good to get over that barrier. But the two swimmers out ahead there, Rowan Brennan, William Perry, great performances there.
Well, it was a brilliant reaction, wasn't it? And a superb time as well, 3:07.42. In terms of booking a place in the final, though, it's pretty competitive. There's only the one race, so the top 10 go through, and 5 full heats. So that 5:01 of William Perry, that is a good score to get on the board. That'll be the benchmark score as Sebastian Williams comes home in lane 0. The SM6 swimmer from Barnet Copthall stops the clock in 4:04.69, 272 points. And over in lane 9, Bruce D touches back as well. So all 10 swimmers safely home. Provisionally, the lead score, William Perry, 501 points in heat number 1. So swimmers exit the pool. We've still not had those results confirmed. Some good scores in there, of course. Perry with 5:01. Got a disqualification in lane 1, Jacob Chambers. And Owen Woodrow from Norwich. And Bruce D as well, so 3 DQs coming in, so 7 scores completed. And William Perry's 501 sits atop after heat 1. 4 heats remaining, so let's meet the athletes in heat 2. Matthew Harding goes in lane 0 for Wirral Metro. Connor Freeman from Leicester Penguins in lane 1 from Bournemouth College. Leo McCree is in 2. In lane 3, Rhys Gill from Uffan. In 4, Peter Harper from Marlborough. East Kilbride represented by Adam Donaghy. In lane 5, in 6, it's Liam Hardy from City of Manchester. Mark Snelling from Harrogate is in 7. From Out to Swim in lane 8, it's Leo Johnson. And Balthazar Bradshaw from Chelsea and Westminster goes in lane 9.
Adam Donaghy, we saw him earlier this morning, one of the middle lanes here. Had a good swim winning his heat. He's got a lot of work to do before he wins this one. Because Peter Harper has gone away really strongly, the SM14 swimmer, in lane number 4. Those two, the fastest entry times of the field. Liam Hardy also going well in the early stages in 38.49. Rhys Gill as well, 39.59. But as they go onto the backstroke here, it is still the early leader, Peter Harper, getting ahead of Liam Hardy. Of course, the classification, the lowest classification are Leo McCree and Matthew Harding. They go in lane number 2 and lane number 0. And at the moment, right down at the bottom of the pool as we look at it. Leo McCree there with the blue cap. Just in that outside lane there is Matthew Harding. They are pretty close in terms of position. And look at the points totals. They might be two of the last ones to finish, but they may well have the highest points totals. But the swimmers at the front of the field are going to try and make sure that's not the case, because they are doing really well at the moment.
Well, Reskill, the SM9 in lane 3, is just gaining on Peter Harper. Perhaps he could take the lead, well, certainly against Harper, and go into the final 50 in second place. But being an SM9 could post a really good score here. But Hardy, the SM14 from City of Manchester, going really well in this breaststroke. But in that outside lane, lane 9, Bradshaw, the SM10, he's starting to gain too. We've got some strong breaststrokers in this heat number 2. And let's take a look at the times as the first athlete starts to split. Liam Hardy, 2:23.73. Just behind him, Reskill does turn in second place, 2:26.83. Ahead of Peter Harper of Marlborough, 2:27.44. And Gill looking really strong on the freestyle fourth leg too.
Yeah, Gill, the SM9 swimmer against the two SM14s. Well, may well have the edge in terms of points. Can he catch Liam Hardy right in the closing stages here? It looks like Peter Harper trying to make a little bit of a burst at the end here. And it's going to be Liam Hardy, I think, will be first into the wall. But Reskill, maybe with the highest points total. It's 3:05 for Hardy. It is Reskill just behind him, but ahead on points, 3:67. And watch out for the likes of Leo McCree coming in right now in lane number 2. And the points for Leo, 508 points from the swimmer from Bournemouth College, just ahead of Matthew Harding. That was a right good tussle there in lane 2 and 0. The two SM6 swimmers look like they have the highest points totals.
Well, Leo McCree, 508. That's provisionally the highest score of the competition so far. 501 posted and confirmed by William Perry in Heat 1. These, of course, still the provisional results. Leo Johnson with a disqualification. That's the only one of the heats, so Leo McCree's 508 points will stand. And Matthew Harding, 483 of Wirral Metro. Those two scores with an excellent chance of qualifying for the finals this evening. 2 heats down, 3 remaining. Let's meet the athletes in Heat 3. Here we go in heat number 3 then, 508, the benchmark score from Leo McCree. Lane 2 is empty. So we'll start with lane 0 when Luke Batty of Bolton Metro goes. In lane 1, it's Owen Garsides of Kingston upon Hull. Callum Pearson goes in 3. Louis Lawler in 4. James Edwards in 5. Tom Piggott 6. Caleb Grace 7. Charlie Coulomb 8. And Riley Shanahan goes in 9. First at the turn in lane 4 is Louis Lawler. He's gone under 30 seconds as well.
We saw him yesterday as well. City of Glasgow well represented here in the SM14 class. They've had some good swims so far on day 1. Calne Alpha swimmer James Edwards in 3rd now, but we've seen some good swims from Callum Pearson in lane number 3. SM10 swimmer. It's the SM10s and the SM14s leading at the moment at the head of the field. Louis Lawler, City of Glasgow swimmer, right up there at the halfway point. I think he's one of the youngest in this field, 16 years of age. Well, a couple younger than him, Charlie Coulomb and Luke Batty. He's the 3rd youngest in this one, but he's first when they get to the halfway point. But another good swim here. Callum Pearson coming right back onto the shoulder of Louis Lawler, just about holding on to that lead. James Edwards, that red cap, in third place. So we're kind of closing up now. Louis Lawler maybe not having the lead that he did have at the halfway point.
He had 2.5 seconds on Callum Pearson, but it is nowhere near that now. He still just about has the edge. But those long levers of Callum Pearson will give him a great push going into the final 50 metres, and they're going to be neck and neck. James Edwards closing the gap as well. Lawler just about turning first in 156.57, but Callum Pearson of Hastings 156.81, but Lawler has got that lead back in the first 20 metres of the freestyle length, and he has the lead with 1/4 of a length to go.
Well, it's Lawler just holding on to that, breathing to the side that he sees Callum Pearson there, so he'll be able to hold off the challenge. Has a quick look to his other side as well, and it is on that other side James Edwards, but it is going to be Louis Lawler. Will take it under the 2:30 mark, so he'll be pleased with that one. A little bit slower than his entry time, but under 2:30 can't be too bad at all. Callum Pearson in 2:31 for second position, and James Edwards in for third place, 2:31.85.
Did very well, Lawler, having conceded that time in the third 50 metres to really put the hammer down in that final 50. Over there in lane 9, this is a quick finish from Riley Shanahan. Great final 50 from the SM9 from Shrewsbury. Clock just approaching 3:07. We've got some scores in though. Edwards 6:13, Lawler 6:41. Great score from Lawler. Callum Pearson knocking on the door of 600 as well, 590 for him.
Two SM9s finishing together, Riley Shanahan and Luke Batty. And just 0.3 of a second separating them. The touch just going to Riley Shanahan in lane number 9, Luke Batty in lane 0. Too far behind, but the opposite ends of the pool, lane 9 and lane 0. Still waiting for confirmation of this one as the swimmers exit the water. It was a good contest at the front there. Louis Lawler came under pressure, but was able to hold on to that lead in the freestyle, having a good look at the two guys on either side of him coming down that 50 freestyle, James Edwards and Callum Pearson. Callum Pearson especially has had a very good week so far, and still a couple of days to go. I say week, we've only had a day and a half.
Still 2.5 days of great racing to come. Of course, we've got the final session this evening. We do it all again on Saturday and Sunday. So if you're watching at home, why don't you get in the car and get down here to Ponds Forge and join us for the weekend of the British Para Swimming International Meet. Disqualification there on Tom Piggott, and also one on Riley Shanahan of Shrewsbury as well. But the two top scores, the first two up over 600 points in this national 200 individual medley. Louis Lawler, Glasgow, 641. James Edwards of Carnell for 613, and Pearson as well of Hastings, a very respectable 590 points. We expect to see them in the final later this evening, but now we move on to Heat 4. Scott Hadley in lane 0 representing Orion. Lane 1's empty, so in lane 2 from Caradon we have Adam Roebuck. From University of Stirling in 3, it's John Law. Matthew Redfern of Worcester goes in 4. From Torvine, it's Dylan Broom in 5. In lane 6 from Leatherhead, Connor Ballard. From Cockermouth in 7, it's Evan Holt. Blackpool Aquatics represented by Ryan Potter in 8, and Maximilian Teller of Chalfont goes in 9.
So Matthew Redfern and John Law swim earlier. They'll be two of the main contenders for the national title in the 50 freestyle. They go side by side this time in lane number 3 and 4. Dylan Broom, though, in lane number 5 is the one who has taken that out pretty strong. It is the Torfine swimmer. SM14 classification, looking very good on the backstroke, you have to say. Very comfortable, very smooth stroke there. As it comes into the halfway point, it is Matthew Redfern in second. He's a strong breaststroker, but so is John Law in lane number 3 as well. So I wonder if they can pull up on the deficit that they have now for Dylan Broom. Also going well, Conor Ballard in lane number 6, the Leatherhead swimmer in 4th position. But it does look like Dylan Broom holding that lead, but being caught by Matthew Redfern in lane 4.
Yes, Matthew Redfern making great progress in this breaststroke length. In lane 3, John Law going well too. And in lane 6, to the left-hand side of those showpiece lanes there, we've got Conor Ballard. The gap really being closed, though, by Matthew Redfern. Dylan Broom is going to turn first in lane 5. However, it's going to be a much smaller lead than it was after 100 metres. 1:49.70 for Dylan Broom, and 2.5 seconds to make up for Redfern. 1:52.14. But look at Dylan Broom here in lane number 5, pulling away. A very strong freestyle finish for him.
Yeah, very good for Dylan Broom. He came off the wall there. I think he was glad to see the end of that breaststroke. He went on to the freestyle, gave him a new lease of life. The man from Torfaen in lane number 5 will take that one in a very good 2:20.95. So an excellent time there. Entry time 2:26. He's improved that to 2:20. Great stuff there from Dylan Broom. Matthew Redfern is into the wall next in 2:28.27. And that'll see him ahead of John Law. Conor Ballard in next in 2:39.68. But what a good swim from Dylan Broom there as the final swimmers come in. Don't think they're going to challenge that points total of 766 set by the man in lane 5.
Well, that has taken the lead by some considerable distance as Maximilian Tulloch over in lane number 9 comes towards the end of his race. Scott Hadley stops the clock in 3:02.19, 454 points. Could be somewhere near a final spot perhaps, but Dylan Broom way out in front, 766 points, overtaking Louis Lawler, who posted 641 in heat 3. Dylan Broom has got to be looking at that 2:20 mark as well, maybe dipping underneath there. Roebuck and Law, 513 points apiece, tied in 4th. That race for the bronze is going to be close, isn't it? But Dylan Broom way out in front, 766 points. Redfern, 582. Holt and Roebuck, 513, 515.
Tie for 4th in the penultimate heat. That's swim-off territory, Dave.
Don't get too excited. We've still got another heat to come. And it is heat number 5, the final heat in this 200 individual medley national competition. Away we go then, the 5th and final heat. And in lane 0 from Brompton, it's George Eldridge. City of Coventry represented by Joshua Fairchild in lane 1. In 2, it's Adam Wyborn from Billingham. Cameron Burncombe of Newquay goes in 3. Thames County represented by Rhys Davis in 4. George Kelman-John Claysmore in 5. Angus Leckenby of Scarborough in 6. Gavin Roberts, City of Glasgow in 7. Carl Hughes, Motherwell in 8. And from Bracknell in lane 9, it's Owen Say.
Rhys Davis first to the wall. Welsh doing well in this 200 metres individual medley national event. So very good swim there for Dylan Broom. Previous heat. Wonder if Rhys Davis can follow that one up. Also going well, George Kelman-Johns from Claysmore. Probably lying in 3rd place. Adam Wyborn from Billingham, the SM10 swimmer. Again, really dominated by the SM14s in the middle lanes here. Rhys Davis, George Kelman-Johns, Angus Leckenby, all in the S14 class. And a very good first 100, 103.55 for Rhys Davis. And he looks pretty comfortable on that breaststroke. Followed by George Kelman-Johns. Just a couple of seconds down, in fact 3.5 seconds the gap between the first and second swimmer. And we also saw a good breaststroke yesterday from Gavin Roberts from City of Glasgow in lane number 7. I wonder if he can make a comeback here. He's not quite making inroads to the lead for the leaders here. Rhys Davis in lane number 4, gonna hold on here and looking very comfortable indeed.
Well, Vernkom and Wyborn, this is an interesting battle in lane 2 and 3 as well, but it's all about Rhys Davies at the moment. 146.89 for the SM14 at the turn. A full 7 seconds ahead of Kelman Johns, 153.29. And it's close between 3rd and 4th. Wyborn just with the edge over Vernkom, but Rhys Davies powering away here. This will be an excellent time. Remember, 766 is the score he's chasing to be top of the tree going into the final. Where's he going to stop the clock? It's coming towards 220. 220.34, 776 that provisionally takes him 10 points into the lead.
Oh, 776 against 766. Well, that is going to be a good one. The two Welsh swimmers there will be side by side in the final if this result is confirmed as well. 651 points for George Kelman-Johns as well. He is lying in 2nd place in this final heat, and few on the 500-point range, 568, 564, and 520. I'm not sure if we're going to get that swim off, Dave.
It's been a fantastic session of individual medley swimming, and just stopping the clock in lane 9 is Owen Say, 304.11, 440 points. Well, provided there are no disqualifications, Rhys Davies sitting at the top, and that does set up quite the final between Broome and Davies. 776 plays 766, and you add the pressure of a final. We've had some brilliant swims. In fact, a lot of these national finals are really set up to be tight at the top later on this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, and they swam it pretty similarly as well, so not sure if they'll have much more in the tank tonight, but that, as you said, the pressure of that final just might bring them through to faster times here. Let's hope the result is confirmed. There are no disqualifications. Well, we have got some disqualifications, Dave. I'm not sure it affects the top positions, though.
Roberts, Hughes and Say all disqualified, so Rhys Davies will be the #1 seed going into the National 200 individual medley. Kelman-Johns, 651, takes 2nd. He'll be in the final later. Adam Wyborn, 568. We'll get a rundown now. Who has made the top 10 in this national competition? Well, Evan Holt with 515 points gets there, but Rhys Davies and Broome, 776 plays 766. And the race for 3rd place could be interesting too.
The tie for 513, a tie for 11th. Oh, we were so close to that swim off there. But 10 swimmers have beaten that 513 points. Great contest there between everyone. Let's hope there's no withdrawals for that final.
Well, yes, because of course, if there was a withdrawal, that really does put the cat amongst the pigeons. But 38 finished entrants there. Ethan Naisbitt, 199, with the final score in the men's multi-classification 200 individual medley national. Thank you very much for joining us. There's now some maths to be done, and we'll be announcing the finalists later. Do join us, whether you're watching at home or here in Ponds Forge. We have got some incredibly exciting racing to come, both in this international and national meets here at the British Paraswimming International Meet 2018. The coverage will start at 16:45 with John and Paul at the top of the show. The first race will be in the pool at 5 p.m. Thank you for joining us. We'll speak to you then.